Today on the podcast, we got Governor Phil Murphy. We got Chris Goldstein. Pat Duff will be on. Jonathan Allen. Mike Alonzo. Jamie's going to talk about the crazy week we've had. And we're going to give Ed Fortune another call. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's snowing here in Jersey. So smoke them if you got them, roll them if you don't. God has given you another day on this earth, so do something with it. I sure hope this mask isn't flammable. Ho ho! Ho ho! What a way to go, live on Facebook. If you got your Earl, get your Earl out. Oh wow, you can almost see through the Earl. Oh wow, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Whoa. Oh wow. So get your Earl out. I just take a little piece out myself. Little dab on your finger and roll it up like a little booger. You roll that dab up like a booger, but you don't eat it. No. You put it right in your peak. You put it in your peak, not in your nose. You put that little booger right in here, and oh boy, that's tasty. That is the most tastiest thing I ever said. Oh yeah. Highly recommended, boys and girls. Hit me! But you played me out, and I'm full of doubt. Let's roll. Who you want to roll with? Roll that up. And you can roll it up with a bamboo roller. This thing is the best thing ever. A little bamboo roller. Roll your blunts with a bamboo roller. Yeah. I'm a lean, mean revolution machine. Raise your fist and pump like this. Because you know it's mine. Dab-a-da-doob, dab-a-da-doob, dab-dab, dab-a-da-doob, dab-a-da-doob, dab-dab, dab-a-da-doob. Come on, keep up. I'm on 12 dabs already. And at least one doob. And a bowl. Maybe a dipper. Woo! Woo! Should I be drinking coffee through this mask? Am I going to ruin it? Probably, right? Yeah, not good. I should probably stain this thing up, though. Put some oil dabs on it. Let's roll. The beardless grandma. Hey, you're funnier than Pat Duff. Oh, Leftina, the beardless grandma, is wearing a hot mask today. Beardless grandma. I know I'm beardless. It's sad. I cut off all my facial hair. I don't know why I did that. I wanted to see what I look like. Like every 5 years, I'll smoke a cigarette to see how much I hate a cigarette. Well, I haven't shaved in 15 years. And I wanted to see what the heck was under there, and it was not pretty. It was pretty ugly, actually. I was kind of... People have been asking me to shave for a while, and then when I shave, they're like, no. You can go back. Grow your hair back, Lefty, please. No. You look an ugly baby. I know. I didn't realize how ugly I was under that hair. That hair covers up a lot. See, luckily, I have nice hair, so the nice hair covers the ugliness, which is good. It works. It's a good look for me. It works. But without the hair, oh. I don't think I'm going to take this mask off for the whole show. I think I'm going to keep my mask on to hide my shame of my ugly skin. Let's do a quick show today, then. This is not a very comfortable mask. It really is not very comfortable. I don't like it. This is what I'm going to use in Bayonne. Rich Borowski is very happy about what went on in the Highlands. There's one township with compassion. That's right, Highlands Township. Highlands Borough. That's right, Highlands Borough has lifted their ban on medical cannabis. Jeff Oakes was there last year, or was it 2 years ago? No, I believe it was last year. Yeah, about a year ago. I wish Jeff was here to see this. One town at a time. We're going to get it back. We're going to get it all back. You just got to keep fighting. We've got to show up and just keep fighting. So yeah, Highlands, big win. Big win. Thank all the activists for coming out and taking part. You guys are the best, man. For real. This would not have happened without your hard work and your dedication and your compassion and your empathy for other people. Because there's people that are in beds, that are bedridden, that are in wheelchairs, that can't do the things that you guys are doing. So thank you. Thank you all for taking part and getting cannabis off that table and the cannabis ban off the table in Highlands. Wow. That was really amazing. It happened, once it started happening, it happened quick. It happened within a week. So if any town tells you they have to think about it and work on it, no, literally it took a week in Highlands for them to do it. Like one council meeting later, they fixed the problem. They realized that there's a problem, they fixed it. So yeah, I was super happy about that, Richie. That was amazing. Good morning, Marina. How are you, dear? I'm not taking this mask off, Richie. I'm not going to show you my shame. It's scary. I don't think you saw me. Well, yeah, it is kind of scary. When the tide comes in, all ships rise. What does that mean? Can you explain that to me? What does that mean? Oh boy, that's funny. There's a couple of stories here we got to get to. I'm just amazed. But we are going to have Governor Murphy on, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. But can you hear me through this? I feel like I'm being constricted through a mask. I need a bigger hole, a bigger mouth hole. This is not a big enough hole the things I need to do with this. Wait, no, I didn't. No, I didn't mean that. This is not a big enough hole for me to do. Like I can't really smoke properly, and I need to do things with this hole, and I can't do them properly with. Oh my God! All right, I'll shut up. What it means is all of us benefit from towns that have compassion. Everyone rises up. Everyone gets the help they deserve. Thank you. Yeah, it's been an amazing run, and we've been doing a lot of I&E tours this past couple of months. Yeah, even before Jeff passed, we were doing a few, and you know, Jeff's message was compassion. I said this at council meetings. That's his message, compassion. If we have compassion, all this other stuff will fall into place. The wheelchair access, the medical cannabis, the caring of people. It'll all fall into place if we have compassion. It's a very simple solution. We just have to have compassion. And this whole crap about politicizing Jesus makes me absolutely nuts. You got the Republican Jesus, and you got the socialist, couch surfing, poor feeding, healing Jesus. I don't know how that happened, but like Pastor Tim from Liquid says, there's no left or right, there's only an up or down. And I really like that saying a lot. Because you politicize Jesus. Come on, man. Give me a break. Yeah. So, in South Dakota, this is crazy. A South Dakota judge on Monday struck down a voter-approved constitutional amendment that legalized recreational cannabis after Governor Kristi Noem's administration challenged it. Circuit Judge Christina Klinger ruled the measure approved by voters in November violated the state's requirement that constitutional amendments deal with just one subject and would have created broad changes to state government.
Amendment A is a revision as it has far-reaching effects on the basic nature of South Dakota's governmental system,
she wrote in her ruling. Brenda Johnson, who sponsored the amendment and represented a pro-marijuana group in court, said it was preparing an appeal to South Dakota's Supreme Court. Two law enforcement officers, this mask is killing me. Two law enforcement officers, Highway Patrol Superintendent Colonel Rick Miller and Pennington County Sheriff Kevin Thom, sued to block legalization by challenging its constitutionality. So wait, stop right there. Cops in Jersey that believe in legalization can't even testify to that fact. But you got these two cops here that are just like all in on the ignorance and the racism and sexism of the drug war. So wait a minute. But we got cops here in Jersey that want to testify and talk about this kind of stuff too on the other side of it. Like to counter what these guys are doing. But they can't. They're not allowed to. But these guys can say what they want. But other cops can't. Cops with different views can't say anything. That's not freedom. That's not America. I don't know what the hell that is. I met a lot. 2 out of 3 cops in Jersey want legalization. I'm telling you that right now. I've talked to hundreds of cops on the I&E tour. 2/3 of them, just like everybody else, want legalization. This is scary, man. This is scary because New Jersey is blocking the legislation in other ways. They're doing it the Jersey way, the dirty Jersey way. Here's my hat. Here in South Dakota, they're more transparent about it. It seems they're just like, yeah, we're ignorant and we're coming for you. So Rick Miller and Sheriff Kevin Thom sued to block legalization by challenging its constitutionality. Miller was effectively acting on behalf of South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who had opposed the effort to legalize pot. Klinger was appointed as a circuit judge by Noem in 2019.
Today's decision protects and safeguards our Constitution,
Noem said in a statement.
I'm confident that South Dakota Supreme Court, if
also praised the ruling, saying it solidifies the protections of a 2018 constitutional amendment that required further amendments to stick to one subject. In her ruling, Klinger said that cannabis legalization would have touched on business licensing, taxation, and hemp cultivation. The amendment would have given the State Department of Revenue power to administer recreational cannabis, but Klinger ruled that by doing so, it overstepped the authority of the executive and legislative branches of government. Whoa! What about us? What about... Wow. Wow! This is... Wow, man. Lawyers defending legalization had cast the lawsuit as an effort to overturn the results of a fair election. About 54% of voters approved recreational cannabis in November. Possessing small amounts of cannabis would have become legal on July 1st, but that will not happen unless a higher court overturns the ruling. Cannabis has been broadly accepted around the United States, with a Gallup poll showing 68% favoring legalization. South Dakota was among 4 states that month to approve recreational cannabis, along with New Jersey, Arizona, and Montana. 15 states and the District of Columbia have done so. Supporters have argued that legalization creates jobs, raises tax money for governments that badly need it. Opponents have argued that, who cares? Who cares what they say anymore? I'm not even going to tell you what they say. It doesn't matter. They're just ignorant. These people. It's going to lead to heroin. You're going to smoke a joint and you're going to kill your brother. Yeah. Hey, this is cool with the mascot. I could just scream and it looks crazy. That looked kind of cool. Screaming. I gotta take this off. If you smoke a joint, you're gonna kill your brother! Woo! What a story. What a freaking story. So yeah, South Dakota, you got problems out there, buddy. This morning there was an appellate court ruling in the decision of the 2019 RFA lawsuit. The court ruled in favor of the health department in all but one application and lifted the stay that has kept the Department of Health from reviewing nearly 150 applications. To summarize, we reverse the final agency decision rendered by the department as to ZY Labs application and remand the matter A-1747-19 to the department for further proceedings. We do not retain jurisdiction in that matter. To all other appeals, we affirm the final agency decisions under review. The stay previously entered by this court is hereby vacated. So, very interesting. Shave my lip. Can you see anything? I'm having problems with my hole. I got a cake hole here, or a pie hole. I don't know what I'm having later, but it's a hole. It's a food hole. And it's got to be bigger. I can't eat. Right now it's a coffee hole. I can't drink coffee through this friggin' thing. Hold on. I don't want to ruin the mask, but I don't want to take it off. I'm shamed. I'm shamed because I have no beard anymore. I feel like ZZ Top went. Can you imagine? ZZ Top would not shave their beards. They were offered millions of dollars by some shaving company to shave their beards, and they wouldn't do it for money. And I just did it just to see what the heck I looked like at 53 years old. I think I had my midlife crisis, or I'm having it, or I had it, or I'm going to have it, and I wanted to see what I looked like, and no, never again. Never again. I think I'll smoke a cigarette before I shave again. Yeah, that was just ugly. It was not a good thing. What's funny is I couldn't grow a beard or a mustache until I was like 40. Yeah, I'm like a hairless cat. I can't grow a hair. I used to put Rogaine on my over here, and I put Rogaine and it didn't help. Yeah. I'm not lying. I put Rogaine in my 30s. I put Rogaine in my face because I'm like, I need to grow a beard. I couldn't grow a beard. So, get your dabs ready. Oh, I got the wrong screen up. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Shut up, Richie. Shut up, Richie. Richie, just because you think this hole is for something doesn't mean everybody else does. It's a food hole, Richie. A food hole. Stop it. All right. Right now it's a dab hole. Here. Dab. P plus. Throw it in there. Boom. I can't even blow the smoke out. It's blowing up in my face. That's it. I think I'm gonna die. Ugh, that hurt. Ugh, that hurt. Ugh. Ugh. I think I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up on the air. That'll be a first. Oh. Oh, sorry. Go to break. Go to break. Well, there's nobody here to help me go to break. Shit. Oh, now, Earthful. Oh, shit. Oh, that one hurt. I'm crying. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, my God. That's one way to get the mask off. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Comment. It is not quick.
You're interrupting me.
This, Mr. Grimes, this is public comment. It is not quick.
You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me.
Because you're gone beyond the bounds of what this.
Who decides that?
I think right now I am. Bill,
It went this long to the battle.
Richie, you think you're funny, huh? All right, Dan. I know it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. I can't smoke in this mask. I think it makes the smoke come back, and like when a car backfires, I feel like I'm backfiring. I feel like my lungs are backfiring when I'm in this mask. It's not. It's oh. 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 Oh man. So yeah, I am wearing a mask because I'm ashamed of my face right now. My face is hurting people. It's hurting me, and it must be hurting you. I'm very ashamed. I thought I was better looking under all that hair. I really did. I used to be a good-looking kid. I don't know what the hell happened to me, man. I got fat. I got really fat. My face is it's all cheek. I'm all cheek now. I'm just a big fatty now. And so I have to grow hair. When you're fat, you grow hair and you look better. So I gotta grow some hair. I'm gonna just start dyeing it. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna start dyeing my beard. You're not gonna see. Another reason I shave. I wanted to shave out all the gray in the middle. And I did, but I didn't like the handlebar look. So I shaved that too. But I don't like the gray. It looks it looks scraggly. And you got grays mixed in and sticking out. So I need to find a way to take care of my beard better. I never really had a beard to take care of like that, so I need to be proactive with my beard care now and get some oil, some proper oil, and some beard dye so that I can grow a beard and not be like, it's gray and I look old. I don't want to look old. I look old enough. Jeez. Yeesh. Hugh? Hey, Hugh! Dude, it doesn't taste well. It doesn't taste good at all. It's not good. This mask, I think this mask might be flammable. And that'll be a great show. The day I light this mask on fire. Yeah, look, wait for that. You almost caught the puke show. That would have been a good one. But maybe we'll catch the Michael Jackson show. Like when his head was on fire. Remember that? Yeah, Michael Jackson's head was on fire. Did you see that video? His head was actually lit, man. Oh, ouch. And I heard he had a lot of problems after that. Pain and pain pills and not good. Yeah, you don't want to go down that road of pain pills. Grecian formula for stoners. Yeah. I can't even see through this mask. This is really... Okay. How long do I have to wear this for? How long until my beard grows back? I'm not wearing this mask for more than a month. I'll wear it in public. I don't care. Oh, maybe I should make my phone calls now. I have a bunch of people to get to today. This is great. I have a really, really cool show lined up because... I was wondering... Backfire burp. Something like hot dogs. We're going to call Mike Alonzo. I want to call Joe Rullo too. Well, just off the cuff. I forgot about him. He's running for governor. I want to call him. Jonathan Allen, Karen, Chris Goldstein, Pat Duff, and I'm going to call the Weed Man too. Let me call... oh, you know what? The governor's supposed to come on too. When's the governor calling in? I think the governor's going to call in. Let me... Oh, I didn't set up my phones yet. Oh, great. Good job, Lefty. Setting up your phones. Let's see. Do that. Ay. I'm never prepared anymore. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Who sent me a message? Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I can't... I've got a text. I'm sorry. I'm reading the text here, and it's... a lot of stuff going on here. Wow. I can't answer all the text right now. I'm sorry. Where's my number? I believe it's here. Boom. Boom. Chris Goldstein.
Lefty Grimes.
How are you, buddy?
Am I speaking with Lefty or Lulu?
This is, well, I'm in Facebook jail, so it's actually Lulu.
Yeah, are you really?
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, why are you in Facebook jail again?
I go on these secret groups where you're supposed to be shocking and be shocked by other people, and I post shocking stuff on there sometimes. And I got banned for that.
Okay, well maybe you should use the Lulu account for the shocking stuff.
I just gotta rethink my life, bro.
I don't know about that. I mean, now you sound like, you don't want to use deficit. You want to look your life,
Oh, man.
Yeah, so what's going on in your Jedi marijuana forum today?
Yeah, what's going on in the cannabis world? I'd like to know. You testified...
Well, yeah, Monday. Holiday. Me and all kinds of people showed up. Took some time on our holiday to put in testimony on 3454, a bill that is already dead. So, yeah, they came back with the other cleanup bill Monday. It was a little bit more of the same. You know, it addressed teen penalties. But this time, Lefty, they had a 15% tax appropriation, and they wanted to take 15% of cannabis taxes and put it into the underage deterrence and prevention account. That would in turn fund a 26-member task force and go to local groups to work on underage prevention and deterrence. How could this all go wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been around drug war politics as long as I have, you've seen this before. It looks a lot like prohibition. And, the idea that 15%, I kind of said in my written testimony, I was like, look, as a cannabis consumer, if you need this 15% of my taxes for a new slush fund just to get it all done, okay, take it. But this is the underage prevention and deterrence account would have been definitely an overly complicated and expensive solution to a problem that doesn't exist. So, look, Lefty, voters, you, me, we did the best thing possible to deter teen use in cannabis in New Jersey. We legalized it. And, study after study, data set after data set, and states that have legalized and regulated cannabis has shown that teen use has stabilized or dropped simply by regulating it and having teens witness responsible adult use, making it probably more boring. Teen cannabis use has frequent teen cannabis use has stabilized or gone down in all the states that have legalized it. Over time, we're seeing measurable differences just by regulation, just by witnessing responsible adult use. So do we need to throw millions of dollars at task forces and stuff to deter teens? Their previous methods have not been very successful. I'm not sure that we should bring them back.
Yeah, well, we're getting into the body broker business now. Is that better or worse? I don't know.
Well, there you go. I mean, the question is, the question is, are we going to interrupt all of the problems of prohibition? And it seems like the cleanup bills were still trying to hold out some prohibition for certain age groups. And then that would also turn into certain ethnic groups, because that's how this all works. So, yeah, I actually, again, the two bills that are sitting on the governor's desk, Senate Bill 21 and Senate Bill 2535, you take them in combination, and they go a pretty far leap from where we are today. They would tangibly stop the 80 possession arrests that are happening every day. They would tangibly stop police from arresting people of all ages for cannabis, for 6 ounces of cannabis. So, it's hard to understand why it comes for sure. And we're in a unique scenario. I don't think that this is comparable to any other situation that New Jersey's seen in politics or that other states have experienced on this issue or others.
Well, they're not going to arrest you for cannabis. They're going to arrest you for marijuana.
I like it. You're right. They did do some equalization between the two bills, though, Lefty, to their credit. This problem was recognized a bit, and they did at the very last minute. I hope everybody knows this. Right before they passed the retail cannabis bill, they went into Senate Bill 2535, the marijuana decriminal. They cut, copy, pasted sections of that over to S21, made it immediately effective with the bill. So there is some normalization between those two bills that is excellent. And again, when the Senate and the Assembly say, hey, look, Governor, if you really read it all together, maybe this all will work, they're not lying. I'll give them their credit in that. But again, the Senate and the Assembly have pulled the football away from Lucy and Charlie Brown here in that scenario like way too many times in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, we've both been in Trenton too many times where senators have declared that votes will happen and the press and advocates and people show up and nothing happens. This is not new. I mean, what happened this week has been going on for 5 or 6 years. So, you know it just as well as I do. You camped out in front of the State House watching it happen, man.
What's interesting
So
about...
what do you think?
Well, what's interesting about the marijuana cannabis issue wording is that all the criminal code is written with the wording of marijuana. So they may need they don't need to change that ever. They could just amend it.
Well, that's what we have now. I mean, you're right. The constitutional amendment explicitly states that nothing will change for marijuana because of that amendment, that it only makes changes related to controlled cannabis that will eventually be sold and taxed. So that's the only place that it relates in our world. And that's why that decrim bill is so darn important. It really contains, since Bill 2535, the decrim bill that's been sitting on Governor Murphy's desk, that he could have signed. Again, if Governor Murphy wanted to make an issue with the legislature, he could have signed a decrim bill. And I've been saying this for months. He could have signed a decrim bill and then held out all this stuff on the retail cannabis provision and held the legislature to their justice standard. But, you know, this string theory where we have to do it all at once in New Jersey, you know, this is where we've really run into problems, Lefty. You know, Virginia's a good example. And the time in between, you were talking about my testimony. I testified Monday, but I testified on the other cleanup bill January 7th. Between January 7th and now, Virginia passed a legalized cannabis bill. And you know why it only took them a few, you know, it was an easy passage in Virginia, is because they decriminalized it last year. You know, they already dealt with the penalties and such. They made it very much like Philly, it's $25 fine. And that made passing retail cannabis a lot easier for the legislature then. So they're going to beat us. They're going to beat New Jersey. And again, they did it purely through the legislature, something that our legislature failed to do, and then we put it to voters. Now we're locked in a quasi-ballot legislative process, and that's what's getting weird.
So was it legal as of January 1st, or not?
No.
No.
Yeah, it was legalized for the legislature to make a bill for it. It legalized the legislative process.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was a strong recommendation. Somebody asked me on Twitter what happens if the legislature doesn't pass enabling bills, and that's an interesting question that I posed to some stoner attorney friends of mine. And they say, you know, look, the problem is, like, if you passed an amendment, if the voters passed an amendment, the legislature did nothing, right? They had no bills, they didn't try, and maybe, you know, hypothetically, publicly opposed it. And we've seen this in other states. I mean, look what happened in South Dakota. So maybe they would do that. Well, you could go to the state Supreme Court and say the legislature isn't trying to enact the Constitution. But that's not what's happening. What's happening in this case is they're having a breakdown over the legislation itself. And there's not really like a template for that. You know, I don't think that New Jersey's constitutional framers ever envisioned that the legislative and executive branches, especially if they're from the same party, would deadlock over a constitutional amendment that a supermajority of voters passed. I think that the whole process in New Jersey is actually, if you really want to look at it, the constitutional process, you know, when voters go that far, when legislators go so far to put it on the ballot, when voters go so far to pass it, when we go so far to change the Constitution, that should be compelling enough for them to pass the bill and for the executive to sign them. And, you know, if there need to be fixes, that's politics. But this super holdout here, I think, is indicative of the process. Lefty, we have witnessed, you know, the same people who backed retail cannabis, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, actively opposed decriminalization. They said that, oh man, we can't stop marijuana arrests until there's retail sales, which doesn't make any sense at all, because we should decriminalize all drugs, honestly, and many states, Oregon. The idea that you have a proviso of legalized sales in order to stop arrests, this makes no sense in the real world. And it shouldn't have been done with marijuana in New Jersey. Instead, everybody who's been arrested for marijuana in the last 5, 6, 7 years, pretty much since 2012 when the first decrim bill passed the New Jersey Assembly, they've been held hostage. They're being held hostage in a big business game over future cannabis taxes. And that is not what Virginia did. That's not what other states did. And New Jersey is now unique. And that's the real problem we're experiencing. Hey, it's the middle of a pandemic, Lefty. You know, that hasn't stopped cops from arresting people in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. And you got to wonder, man, when 3 million people vote for it, when the Attorney General is saying suspend prosecutions and police are still arresting 80 people a day for weed in New Jersey, like, who's in charge of the cops? What do you do?
Is it the same arrest rate as last year, or is it up or down?
It's only down a little bit, but it's not because of any policy. I'm tracking has only to do with the pandemic. People are driving less, people are encountering police less, quite honestly, and a lot of marijuana possession arrests are generated at traffic stops, and there's a lot less of those happening, so it's that 20% less, in both states this year, but that has nothing that, again, 80 people a day, Lefty, during a pandemic, 3 million voters, the Attorney General saying these are all going to be thrown out anyway, hasn't stopped cops one bit. They're keeping up business as usual. That's a problem. That's a real problem. Where are the mayors to stand down their police departments? Where is the governor to stand down the state police? Where is the answer, and what is going to be the end game now if delays continue? That's the real question. 80 people a day are waiting for this policy to be enacted, and this is no joke now here in New Jersey. We're really shining out the injustice here every single day.
I know a medical cannabis patient that was arrested in East Hanover after the law was passed. So we're going to the council meeting, we're going to the police station, and we're going to smoke out like we used to, and talk to the council about why are you arresting patients, wasting our time and money and energy on this BS already. It's stupid.
Well, Steve Sweeney was standing out the other day saying that, him and the whole legislature are sick of talking about this marijuana thing, and they just want to get on with the budget. Look, if 3 million voters weren't, asking you for a reasonable fix here, you might be able to get back to regular business if you could come up with one. But that's the kind of attitude we've had this whole time. They really are maybe starting to understand, Lefty, what the real deal is. Prohibition's gone on for 100 years. Tens of thousands of people get roped into the criminal justice system in New Jersey for it every single year. And to undo all the things, to stop people from getting put into drug treatment, stop cops from interceding with all these people, more than for all other substances combined every day in New Jersey, it's going to take some real effort, and it's going to take some real focus. In 2021, the Black Lives Matter era, you can't do a half measure of it anymore. You got to actually do it.
Chris, when you were arrested in Philadelphia, did the police take your money also?
I didn't have any money on me, but they probably would have.
Oh.
I'm just like, all I had was like, I went into the protest with my ID in my pocket and 2 joints, so. I'm sure they would have taken my money if I had any. I know what happened ahead, and it's ridiculously common. You're talking about New Jersey, Louisiana states with this $9,000.
Yeah.
Look, I know people who have lost $50 to the Philly cops. Yeah, actually, when I was interceded by the SWAT team and I wasn't even arrested during NAPO's marijuana party raid, I had cops take, I think it was like 2 grams of weed, a glass pipe, which they smashed in front of me on the ground, very dramatic. And I had $60 in my pocket, and they took it. I never saw it again.
Wow. Good to be the king.
It must be nice.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, they took
look,
yeah, they took Ed's rent money. It was shocked.
This is, I hate that it happened to Weedman. I'm sure in some ways he's glad that it happened to him, but I don't want people to think that he's being like singled out or targeted, other than the fact that maybe that night. But sorry, 1 second.
Well, he was driving through Trumpville.
Well, other than the fact that, I'm looking at police reports in Jersey City and Secaucus, and I can't even tell you, dude, every single day, and I see stuff like 2 Hispanic males pulled over with 2 vape carts and $1,200, and everything's seized, and they're charged with the same kind of stuff he did. So, while what happened to him is like, so ironic, and again, maybe he's glad that it did, it's happening to people every day in New Jersey, not just New Jersey weedmen. You don't need to paint all the stuff on the side of your car to have police treat you like this. You just need to be a certain color and in a certain town, like Jersey City or Secaucus or something, and bang, the cops are right on you.
Yeah, it's crazy. They should legalize New Jersey weed man. Like, how come he can't get a license?
But it is legal in Trenton. Oh, come on. In so many ways. Like, he is legal in Trenton. Like, he's carved it. through hard effort, man. The guy has suffered terribly. And, like, if anybody has suffered in New Jersey, like, it's him. And he has won sort of like a little zone for himself in Trenton. And he should be proud of that in a lot of ways. It's right across from City Hall. Like, when COVID-19's over, I hope that whole block is nothing but like an ongoing marijuana party.
It is now.
Well, I hope maybe it'll become a mass vaccination push. That would come.
Yeah.
Did you see DCMJ is doing stabs for jabs and dabs for jabs
What's that?
and dupes for jabs? They're giving away a joint for anybody who gets to signs up for vaccination and stuff.
You mean I gotta get vaccinated and I'll get a dab?
Free joint.
A free joint?
Look them up, man. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. So, the next question is, what do we expect to happen tomorrow, right? Now that the governor and the legislature are two trains on a track facing each other at full throttle. So, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? You think the governor's going to sign a veto?
I think he's gonna not do anything.
Oh, I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Keep going. What do you think is going to happen?
You think he's gonna sign it then?
You think that's going to happen? I hope.
I mean, geez.
I hope so.
It's been long enough, right?
I legitimately hope that happens. But I would, if I were going to bet on this, and I'm not somebody, you know, but I guess if I was going to take a pick on the two options, I would expect that tomorrow we might see conditional vetoes finally issued.
Oh, okay. He can do that. Okay.
Yeah. And I just want everybody to be clear. If you're already frustrated with the extended process, I want you to be clear that the clock is out tomorrow. The only way to reset it and move the clock is for him to issue a conditional veto, and that would reset the clock to December 31st.
December 31st?
That is correct.
That's funny. That's real funny.
I definitely know, but I want everybody to be ready for that because, you know, while the legislature and the governor have kept up a public fight over underage penalties and stuff, the one thing that they've done together is run out the clock at every turn. And they really have run out the clock on this issue at every turn. You know, first they couldn't pass bills in the legislature, so they sent it to voters. And then voters said yes, and they just haven't gotten here. And now the Assembly reset its quorum twice to give the governor more time. The legislature's gone as far as it can go. The only way to reset the clock forward is for the governor to issue conditional vetoes and set the clock to December.
They've done what South Dakota has done, except they did it with less transparency.
Okay, yeah, so if we get to next year, if they reset the clock to December 31st, let's also be clear about what happens, what a conditional veto means. This is different than a line item veto that other governors have. Conditional veto in New Jersey means the bills won't become law. It means they go back to the legislature, and the legislature must pass through both chambers the fixes that the governor asks for, and then send them back to the governor's desk, repassed. Legislative leaders have said that they don't, you know, Scutari and Sweeney have said that they will not take up a conditional veto. They won't even, like, bring it to the floor for a vote. And at that point, that, you know, there it is. We wait all year and nothing happens. You know, they could pass new bills in that time. I'm not sure what the will is for that. So it would definitely be it's the mess everybody's been looking to avoid, but it certainly would reset the clock. So if they're looking to extend things out and have nothing definitive happen tomorrow, then the conditional vetoes will be issued. And you're right. I think that at that case, we have to wonder if the constitutional amendment isn't being obfuscated just a bit.
Maybe they didn't expect us to vote in the way we did. I don't know. It seems like...
Oh, I don't think so. I think that I think the lineup on that was pretty clear. You know, I mean, the campaign surrounding it certainly didn't spend much money on it. They expected it to pass, and it did. So, I mean, there's been resounding support for legalization in New Jersey for quite some time, and it's certainly been cresting right up ahead of that election. So, I don't think it would have taken any political observer much knowledge to see it pass.
Even Trumpers voted for it.
I'm happy it passed by the margin it did. I mean, you know, I don't think there was a question it would pass disgusting, but it's great to see it at the margin that it did. I mean, I think that broke some serious expectations even. So.
Even in Trump land, here in East Hanover, where my friend got arrested, the sergeant comes over to him and he says, I'm going to try to get the body cam footage too. The sergeant comes over and says, you know why we're going to have legalized pot? It's because you damn Democrats. And I'm just like, wait a minute.
Well, look, Lefty, I keep telling people, one of the reasons that, why, I haven't given up on working on politics on this issue is that there always really has been, I mean, if I had $5 for every Republican staffer or elected Republican official who said to me in Pennsylvania and New Jersey over the years, Chris, I really just believe in legalization. I just can't do it in public, or some staffer says, or comes out and says that they've got a medical marijuana patient in their family, or are registered themselves. I'd be a millionaire. And, honestly, it is equanimous, okay? Just as many Republicans smoke weed as Democrats. It's a common thread in all of society. But the politics around it are very confused amongst both parties at this point. Again, you can't blame Republicans for everything going on with this issue in New Jersey. And I think that there's something to be said here. This has been a one-party issue this whole time in New Jersey. It's lack transparency, Lefty. I mean, it's been all behind closed doors, bills and amendments that the public never get to read. I was sitting here testifying Monday, and Senator Poe was saying, "Oh, Chris, don't worry, all this is addressed in amendments that are coming out tomorrow." Nobody ever saw them. Senator Singleton said he wanted to fine the police. Never saw anything like that. They get to get away with this kind of stuff, and I don't think it's cool. And on this issue, they've really used a lot of their personal latitude. Because, again, marijuana has no federal oversight, so it can break a lot of rules.
Yeah. Banking rules. We got a lot of problems here in Jersey with the banking, and is that going to be fixed, the banking issue, or what's the story with that?
Well, New Jersey is one of the states, actually, I'm pretty hopeful in this regard. I mean, there was a bill that would create a public bank for essentially the sports betting money and the cannabis money in New Jersey, which would be kind of cool. That public bank, if we created a public bank in New Jersey to receive the cannabis taxes and then appropriate it out, that might actually be a way to issue small business loans, because regular banks can't do it, but a public bank might be able to. So that might be some real pathway to small business loans and getting small business startups going in the cannabis space, like right away using cannabis taxes. So public bank, I really support that idea. I think New Jersey is one of the states that is further down the road in that and conceptual and has the existing statutes to make it happen more than most. So it's a really good idea. The problem with banking is that, the federal intersections with the existing banks and systems and financial systems are a problem. And the more acts could pass Congress, there could be federal reform that addresses this, but the states will still have to do something. So I think the idea of public banks for the cannabis taxes, and in New Jersey's cases, maybe also the sports betting taxes and sports betting revenue, that might be a really good idea. It kind of already has something like that. It's called the Economic Development Authority. So the EDA in New Jersey is kind of like a quasi-government bank. They take money from state and federal programs and then put it out to New Jersey businesses in a loan program that operates just like getting a business loan from a bank. You make a proposal, a board approves or disapproves, and then you get the money. So EDA is actually kind of like an interesting model of how a public bank might work for loans to small businesses. And if you took EDA and you funded it with cannabis taxes, then you might have a way to really jumpstart like minority-owned small businesses in New Jersey.
Interesting. We'll get there. It'll be baby steps, just like we had baby steps this week in Highlands. Highlands League took their cannabis ban off the table. I was so happy to see that.
Yeah, they better, man. They got a really nice marina up there. You're talking Atlanta Commons, right?
It's just called Highlands Borough by Sandy.
Borough of Highlands.
By Sandy
okay.
Hook. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like a water guy. I like Atlantic Highlands. Man, is that a beautiful marina out there?
Sure.
You get this great jetty and get a view of New York City, and then the view of the Highlands, beautiful sunsets over Sandy Hook. So nice up there.
Oh, the sun. Oh, that's a. You know what? That's a good idea. I think I'm going to go there for the sunsets.
Oh man, and the fish Lefty, I need the MORE Act to pass. I need this legalization stuff to get done. I need federal reform. I need my record cleared so I can get my captain's license from the Coast Guard. I can have a pair of charter fishing boats called Mary and Jane docked in Point Pleasant. And I can go out every day on paired marijuana fishing expeditions, like, Blue Dream and Black Sea Bass. Golden papaya and albacore. So it would be nice. Very nice.
Oh, you count as pairing with fish. That's great.
Yeah, fishing. Yeah. I mean, we're really got to evolve the social use here. So, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think that again, if I was going to make a bet in. The one thing that the legislature and the governor have continued to do is extend and delay deadlines. So if that's going to be the usual course, the governor is going to conditionally veto the bills. We hope that doesn't happen. That would be making, if you're frustrated now, dude, it's going to all this stuff just doubles down all year if that happens. And that would super suck. So it would be nice if the governor would just sign the bills. We can address a heck of a lot of other issues once that's done. And I think that there's, now I think there's also growing, 2,000 arrests in January. Lefty, honestly, I think that there's an argument to be made here, that there needs to be some more immediate emergency relief to stop police from these encounters. This is becoming like a public health crisis happening. 3 million voters are saying don't do it. Cops are doing it 88 times a day during a pandemic. What the heck is going on here? So we do need the legislature to focus on this. If they're sick of dealing with marijuana, they can stop arresting 80 people a day for it, and then we can get on with other stuff.
Didn't the Attorney General put out a directive to stop all this? But
no, he's not allowed to say stop arrest. Yeah, and this is a point of grand confusion right now, I must say. The Attorney General said and issued a memoranda to the prosecutors in New Jersey saying that they should suspend or dismiss marijuana cases. And he's done that several times. To his credit, he's done as far as, and I think that people don't understand, he's done as much as he personally could do. And honestly, our Attorney General is very much doing the right thing. He's done everything he could possibly do. Short of this, and I think that maybe he should consider this. I think it's time for the Attorney General to sue some police departments. At this point, this is a matter of injustice. The state Attorney General might need to intercede by suing the very state police department that he is a co-part of, sort of, in top law enforcement official. So I'm not sure what to do here, but he's done as far as he can do as far as memorandum. He said suspend the prosecutions. Usually that's enough, Lefty. In Philly, when Larry Krasner said he wasn't going to prosecute anybody for it, they really did stop arresting people for it after, because they were still arresting like 700 people a year even after Deeper, and because they could. And when Larry came in and said, I'm not going to prosecute anybody, the Philadelphia police let up on those arrests. So the idea that the police really are sort of ignoring the Attorney General's advice is bringing us to a point where we have to ask, what do we do to stop these police interactions right now? Okay, they're demonstrating their resolve. What will legislators do, and what will lawmakers do to show that they actually are, in charge of the cops?
I think if we had 100 patients in wheelchairs at the East Hanover police station, stuff would happen. But we don't get that. We get a couple of people here and there because people are sick, man.
I feel like you might, I don't know, if you put 100 patients in wheelchairs at the East Hanover police station, I think you would have a traffic jam somewhere about, in the intersection out front. It doesn't sound like a very big place.
No, it's not fair.
Look, Lefty, what do you want to happen? You want arrests to stop. What do you think about, let me ask you this. I also had a meeting with Brian Box Brown and Troy Singleton about his home grow bill. What do you think about his home grow bill? For patients, this is something that's a big deal to you.
I like it, but I share the same concerns you do about the body brokering issues. 15% off the top for body brokering. I don't like that.
What about the home grow bill, don't you like?
There's the home grow bill. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, no, wait. There is a 15%. Didn't he put a 15% skim off the top that goes directly to put underage people in?
That's the Clean cleanup bill.
That's the cleanup bill. Okay.
Clinton's bills will allow registered medical marijuana patients the ability to grow 4 plants at home.
Oh, 4 plants. That's not enough for me. I need more. First of all, stop right there. I need at least 6 to 10.
He also has a bill to subsidize access, meaning if you're on SSDI, you would get, your medical marijuana would be subsidized like Medicare level. If the cost was, hypothetically, $500, the state would hypothetically pay $250.
Right. Like my prescription plan that I get for my pills. Yeah, sure.
You think those are Senator Singleton's 2 bills? There, you can read them on a website. They're actually publicly available. What do you think of those concepts?
I love those 2 concepts, but I want more. It's not enough. It doesn't go far enough for me with the plant count. And what else is in that bill? What are the penalties are in there?
You better read it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, what do you have now?
Nothing.
So, why don't you read the bill? I think that his homegrown bill is very limited, but it's better than nothing. He agreed to put patient rights and protections in there that are existent in the other bills. Like if you have a 4-plant garden, police couldn't use the smell of that garden for search and seizure. So that's a good idea. Senator Singleton agreed to adding that. On his bill for subsidized access, Lefty, I have to ask some questions. We know that prices are really high. We've seen a lot of media coverage of this. I think every medical marijuana patient registered in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or New York has a deep understanding of how bad the prices problem is and the supply problem in a lot of ways. So if we're going to subsidize access, should we do it at $500 a freaking ounce? I mean, shouldn't we ask for transparency and say from these companies, look, how much does it cost for you to produce an ounce of medical marijuana? And how much is the markup? Could we talk about that markup and how much we're going to subsidize? This is the kind of negotiation that happens with pharmaceuticals, And what we're asking Senator Singleton for is if he's serious about doing subsidized medical marijuana access, is that he asks for price transparency from the producers so that we know, if that subsidy is correct. Because I think maybe the last thing we would want to do is subsidize and prop up inflated prices, so that all patients are forced to pay $500 an ounce because low-income patients have this nice subsidy from the government to prop up the price. That would be like a kind of a bad scenario, right?
I agree, but you're talking to the desperate people that are going to take that deal.
Oh, I get it, and I get that that's why the deal's on the table. But propping up a subsidy to the corporate cannabis operators isn't necessarily the best thing in the long term for the entire patient population. So the question is, how do we achieve the subsidy with fairness for everybody? And I think that the answer there is price transparency. Like, we know how much they're producing it, maybe they'll have to come down in price for everybody in order to accept the subsidy for the low-income patients like you. That's the game that they play with pharmaceuticals, Lefty, and I'm not sure why it couldn't be played with medical cannabis more successfully by state regulators.
How much does it cost to produce 1 ounce at a dispensary? $40?
And that's a very interesting thing. Now, I have looked up this data many times. There's places you can find in applications for the permits, in subsequent reports by state medical marijuana programs, and answer backs by the industry even here in New Jersey. It appears that there is a pretty standard price for producing an ounce of flower, and that is about $37.50 wholesale. All right? So, it's pretty inexpensive. 37, rounded out at $40 an ounce, they mark that up essentially 4,000%, at $450 an ounce.
Is that what it would cost you and me to do the same thing? Or is that just a corporate model?
Actually, well, yes and no. That's an interesting point. Could the home cultivator produce for less? Well, yeah. A well-run home cannabis garden with, even 4 plants, because you could certainly keep them alive and keep them producing flower for you. You could run that for like, tens of dollars a month, $20 a month. So, yeah, it's pretty cheap. But when you come down to we're talking about industrial cannabis. You're talking about something that has to be laboratory tested, that has to be packaged accordingly, that has to have labels on it. So what I'm talking about in the $37.50 an ounce, I'm talking about what is ready. That's how much it costs to do all that to them and have it ready for sale over the counter. Okay, it's $37.50 an ounce. And the markups that happen along the way are really kind of interesting if you look at, the way these programs run. So, they're vertical operators, right? So they have, they grow the marijuana, they process the marijuana, and then they have dispensaries that sell the marijuana. And on paper, they sell themselves their wholesale products. So in Pennsylvania, the producers are allowed to sell to their own dispensaries and then others. So they sell themselves some marijuana and they sell other people some marijuana. So it really looks good on paper. It's a commodity market. So, like, for example, in Pennsylvania, we're able to clearly see that in the first couple of years of the program, there was like $775 million worth of marijuana sold, but only about $225 million of it went out to patients over the counter. The rest was sold to each other within the program. That make any sense?
For paperwork, I get it, yeah. For the accounting.
What that means is along the way, everybody gets a markup. So when they sell it to themselves, they mark it up 100%. And then when a dispensary receives it, they mark it up 100% before it goes out the door to patients. That's why, that's how you get a $37.50 wholesale price up to a $450 retail price. And we haven't even gotten into, hash oil yet and how efficient it is to make that. So, look, the real money is in the processed products, because after you cut the flowers off the plant, there's 80% of plant material and shake and leaf and stem and root that you can macerate and throw into a big old processor and shoot hash oil out the other end. So they're making money off every single piece of that plant, every step of the way.
I can't wait till I can grow my own weed. I guess that's all I want. Give me 6 plants.
Yeah, look, but the thing of it is that if we're gonna subsidize access, I'm okay with subsidizing, an acceptable markup. And that's, again, this is what the game that regulators, state regulators and federal regulators have to play with: energy markets, food markets. They have to do this every day and step in for reasonable price controls so that consumers don't get gouged and that everyday Americans can afford our regular stuff. So if we didn't do that, all this stuff, we'd be screwed. And we're getting screwed on medical marijuana because state regulators have never really wrapped their head around their own responsibility here for price controls.
What should an ounce cost in New Jersey?
I mean, again, if you want to reasonably say that industrial production costs you $40, mark it up to 80, mark it up to 100. That is the going rate for retail cannabis in some shops in Oregon and Washington right now. Medical marijuana in a lot of retail situations in Maine is $150 an ounce right now, Lefty. There's just no reason for it to be $400, $500 an ounce here. That is an unreasonable inflation of the price. That's price gouging. I mean, that's sort of like a textbook example of price gouging without control.
I know a lot of patients want to go up to Maine, but they are taking a risk by going over the borders with their cannabis coming home, right?
Yes and no. I mean, Maine has reciprocity officially with New Jersey. So, the idea of reciprocity is more for the vacation situation of the part-time resident, where you're a registered New Jersey patient, you're going to spend a month on Peaks Island in Maine or something, right? And while you're there, you want to access the cannabis program. But in the real world, because of the massive price difference between New Jersey's dispensaries and Maine's existing medical cannabis dispensaries, and we're talking about, like I said, like a 50-75% price reduction, it is actually something that a lot of patients use to fulfill their access. Maine is like 5-6 hours away from most of New Jersey, less if you live in North Jersey, I guess. So you can do it in a day trip. You could go up, visit a dispensary, get a month or 2 months supply, and come home. And it's fully legal. as far as reciprocity goes between the two programs. Now, you're asking about the transportation aspect. Are you taking a risk? That's interesting. I mean, between Maine and New Jersey is what? Like New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts. So in Massachusetts, marijuana is fully legal. You wouldn't have a problem there. Connecticut does have a medical marijuana program, so does New York. And if you're carrying your patient or caregiver card, you might be able to claim reciprocity and be okay. But you're right. During a police encounter, if you went up to Maine as a New Jersey patient, accessed reciprocity, came back with weed, you could, lose your weed in a police encounter on the way back.
Yeah, my friend got arrested in Barrington with weed from Maine. And he's a patient, a New Jersey patient. But it was Maine packaging, so they took it.
Yeah, well, he should ask for it back, because technically he should be able to get it back. If it's within the amounts that are prescribed under New Jersey's law, and he purchased it using his card in a dispensary in Maine under the reciprocity program, New Jersey police really have no right to hold or seize that marijuana. He should get it back.
Yeah, we're going to fight for that one. Pat Duff has a question. He says, what happened to Garden State Normal? Or is he stirring the pot, or is he being serious? I never know with him.
I don't know. I mean, not sure. I don't know which question to answer.
Well, we know he stirs the pot. So, what happened to Garden State Normal? Are they still around?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's normal. People are trying to start normal chapters all over the place, and they don't all get started. So, I guess Garden State Normal is one of the ones that didn't get fully flushed out. So, and I've been doing regional organizing for a long time with Normal, and it takes a lot of work to get one of these chapters up. It takes a lot of effort, and it's not easy. And I have to say that New Jersey's politics aren't easy. This is not an easy place to do it, especially as a volunteer. I don't know. I would like to see a lot more chapters. I would certainly like to see more chapters in New Jersey. But also, too, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a coordinated effort of volunteers to pull off on these things. So I don't know what happened. I wish I had a better answer for it.
I did see that Charlena has she's not on Facebook anymore. I don't know what happened. Pat said that too. I noticed that myself.
I don't know. People leave Facebook for a lot of good reasons.
Yeah, I know. I'm in jail. I'm in jail right now.
Yeah, Facebook is not exactly a great social media site.
Oh man, yeah. I want all these groups to get together and come together as one. That's what we all have to do.
Look, I don't know, Lefty. I'm a Quaker. I certainly believe in balance and unity. But I've been doing volunteer organizing for a long time, and I know it's like it's politics too. It's like a personality-based, thing. And not everybody's going to get along all the time. I mean, the great thing about politics, really, and the reason I, as a Quaker nonviolent activist who works on this stuff, I mean, to me, politics is the ultimate answer. It takes conflict down to words, instead of having it turn into something physical. So, it's an onerous process, and it's a fight, because it's trying to work things out that, politics is doing what, it's an evolution of human communication. It's trying to work out our worst conflicts through words, and that process is really, really tough.
Well, Pat Duff and I both agree that you are doing great work, and we both appreciate you very much, and we love what you're doing. Please keep it up. You're an amazing activist. Thank you.
Well, I actually hadn't seen Pat in a while, so that Zoom meeting the other day, he looks a little Walter White. I don't know if he's I don't know what he's breaking there, but maybe, I hadn't seen him in a while. The goatee's new for me, so.
Oh, he cracked Mayor Kanitra up really bad. It was great. That was so funny.
Well, you know what was really funny? I think I sent you that satire piece I wrote. Remember that section of the satire Collins and Congresswoman Barbara Lee.
Oh, can you please go over that? You know, we were supposed to read it on the air. We never read it. Where is that? I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Now I'm finding this. Hold on. I'm gonna put it out there too.
Now, I have to find it too. All right. You know, the funniest thing about it though was that now I gotta find it. Hold on.
Yeah, me
The
too.
funniest thing about all that was that, you know, in the new bill, Senate 3454, there was actually a section on training police to have sensitivity training before they went out and did that. And I was like, did they read this? Did they read my satire piece? Hold on. Still trying to find it. Go over that if you want.
Did you email it
We
to me?
just want a copy of it. Oh, jeez. You gotta understand how many emails I've got in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I think you
All
emailed.
right. I'm going. Hold on. Give me a minute.
I'm looking.
Oh, my God.
I'm looking.
Where did I find the time to send all these emails between when I sent this to you? Oh, my God. Here it is. All right. Hold on.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Here we go. Ready. How to create the perfect cannabis bill in New Jersey. And this is based on 5 years of comments from politicians and trends. So, here's what we should expect to get us out of our weed purgatory. 1, the Cannabis Consumer Identification Card. Anyone over the age of 21 who wishes to purchase cannabis in New Jersey must first acquire a CCID from the MVC. Along with digitally tracking all purchase information, the CCID will also contain an instantaneous cannabinoid detector. Do not worry. The wires will not be too uncomfortable. Now, should a consumer operate a motor vehicle with illegal levels of THC, the Cannabis Consumer Identification Card will detect the violation, turn off the vehicle, lock the doors, then notify the nearest police department. Employers will also have access to certain CCID functions through a special interface operated by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. The CCID must be kept charged at all times, weighs about 4 pounds, and comes with an optional 16-foot solar array. That is Section 2, which I almost feel like they put in the Senate Bill 3450. Protections for police. Every legal cannabis retailer will be required to have a secure lockbox attached to the front door, accessible by any current or retired law enforcement officer of any branch. This box will supply at least 4 pounds of fresh cannabis products and $200,000 in cash per month, preferably in 50s and 20s. Cannabis can be used personally by police or resold under a redistribution police micro permit held by the local department. Cash can be used for things like official budgets, family shopping, and alcohol. Cannabis consumer sensitivity training of at least 1,000 hours with annual 80-hour refresher courses must be completed by every cop before they can perform any weed-related interaction. The Cannabis Consumer Sensitivity Training course will be taught by Thomas Chong, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and Henry Rollins. Passing the course requires at least 2 magic mushroom therapy sessions, and failing results in job termination. Okay? I swear to God that was in the fucking bill.
I love this.
Dude, Section 3, drone dispensaries. Because so many towns in New Jersey have already banned cannabis retail storefronts, we will have to launch sales by air. This will leave all that empty commercial space in cities comfortably empty and eliminate messy zoning disputes. Drones offer legal weed operators an opportunity to scale down, fitting into the space the size of 2 standard school buses. That's to accommodate for the batteries, engines, and propellers. Consumers will use their Cannabis Consumer Identification Card to summon the dispensary to their location.
Come hither.
All right, personal home cultivation. I'll do this one. We all know that the first cannabis plant fell to Earth in the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, and that this alien species has powerful effects on humans. While immensely beneficial, home cultivation should only be done under the strictest controls, as described by the Intergalactic Cannabis Regulatory Board. Quote, 1 biopod per household is appropriate, equipped with enough power to launch into orbit within 30 seconds. Any personal interaction between humans and the growing plant should be minimized. At least 7 laser or other projectile energy weapons must be trained on the plants at all times. Should any contaminants or extra plants be detected, the onboard laboratory, the pod is to yourself into the center of the nearest star. It's the only way to be sure.
The only way.
And I have to say, this next section, given what the hell happened this week, with Secretary declaring and undeclaring is really appropriate. So I'll go ahead and fix this out. With appointing the cannabis emperor. Nicholas Guattari will be consecrated as the permanent emperor of New Jersey cannabis in a ceremony under the State House Dome in Trenton. New Jersey President, Senate President Steve Sweeney and John Bon Jovi will preside.
Oh, no.
Invoking all the gods of the Garden State, including Loki, our patron of government. Guattari is expected to levitate about 10 feet above the floor with greenish sparks as his mind struggles to visualize the trillions of dollars that displayed his fingertips. Then, when Guattari is holding a sacred talking stick instead of focusing on his throat, and that is a 9-foot-long staff of interwoven marijuana stems collected from the Linden Police Department evidence room floor, no one may speak or even say his name, lest they lift his wrath and be cut off from all cannabis in New Jersey.
Hey, I was in that Linden police station. It's not fun.
Yeah. We didn't even get to the politician reparation fund or rectal nebulization, but, there you go.
Oh, rectal nebulization is my favorite one. It says, we all know that the ancient form of smoking cannabis causes humans to grow large racks of antlers on their eyelids. For public safety, only modern delivery methods for ingesting cannabis flowers will be approved. Cannabis industry experts, attorneys, legislatures, and IGCRB regulators agree that rectal nebulization is the safest technique. Police will be authorized to intervene if they observe any human using any other method. Cannabis rectal nebulizers come in a variety of sizes, from large at-home units for multiple consumers or portable personal devices. There are also portable, hydrogen-powered, single-use pods that contain Amazon-engineered artificial intelligence that interacts with the CCID and posts a consumer's cannabinoid levels instantly to their social media. This is just brilliant.
Isn't that what you want out of your marijuana experience, Lefty? You want a pod in your butt that posts everything to Instagram, right? That's what you want.
Man, I just love how we end every call on butt nebulizers. This is great. What a great way to end the call.
I know that you're going to have a branded family nebulizer, soon. It'll be the Lefty Grimes family nebulizers, like the Squatty Potty, except for marijuana. It'll be great.
Chris, you're the best, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Later on.
I always end it with him on the butt nebulizers or the suppositories. Oh my good! I'm gonna put this up. We didn't go over number 7 or number 6. 6 and 7 is here too. I'll put this up later after the show. I'll put the whole list up. This is funny. This is just too funny. Wow. He talks about Ed Fortune in number 6. Man. I wonder if the governor's around. The governor's available. Let's call our friend Jonathan. Jonathan, where's your number? I have your number here somewhere. Here we go. I think I even have a picture for you, Jonathan. Let me find your picture. I found a picture. Good afternoon. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. There we go. There's your picture. I got you up here. You got your mohawk going on here. I love it.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice. I'm so upset we never hung out when you were here in Jersey. Man, I want to dab out with you, but I guess you're in Florida now. Is that where you're at?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
On the west coast of Florida, and it is beautiful.
Oh, man, I bet. What part of Florida?
I live in Largo, the west coast.
My mom was in Punta Gorda, which is really nice.
Oh, I love Punta Gorda.
Yeah, a lot of manatees and just beautiful. It's so nice.
Florida is the best move I ever made in my life. Especially after when I got hit by the SUV, I made it a goal to move down here.
Wait. Let's back this up. What, you got hit by an SUV?
In Marlton, 4 years ago, I was crossing the street and in my wheelchair, and a woman in an SUV hit me.
So wait, you were in your wheelchair crossing the street, and somebody hit you in your wheelchair.
Yep.
What? Are you? What is wrong with people?
She claimed that the sun was in her eyes, but I know that was false because the sun was over her left shoulder.
Oh,
but that's a completely different story.
You have got to be kidding me with this stuff. Oh my goodness. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey. So what happened to you when she hit you?
I broke my fibula in my right knee, tore my meniscus, had to get 7 staples put in the head, had road rash down my entire right side because my wheelchair tipped over and I was pushed. Yeah, a bad time.
Your wheelchair got run over?
No, well, thank God the wheelchair didn't get run over. I was just tipped over and I got pushed, like I said, like 6 or 7 inches. But it hurt.
Man, how fast was she going?
Probably like 27, maybe 30.
That's a hard hit, man.
Oh, it hurt. Trust me, it hurt.
And she just didn't see you. Was there a stop sign or a light, or she just didn't?
Well, she claimed she didn't see me, like you said, because the sun was in her eyes, which
Right.
I don't buy. But I had the right of way. I had the green light. I was in the crosswalk.
Oh, okay. And you're in the crosswalk. Okay, yeah.
And like I said, it happened. I can't change it. It is what it is. But yeah, she only got a failure to yield.
Wow.
Yeah, but it hurt. Still hurts, but I deal because I have no choice.
Well, how did you get in the wheelchair in the first place?
I was born with CP, cerebral palsy, and when I was 11, I stood up randomly, literally the day after my 11th birthday. I stood up and my right knee gave out on me, and the way I landed, I shattered my femur.
Oh.
And you know what? I live life every day. It is what it is. As far as I'm concerned, shit happens to everybody.
Yeah.
There's no point in being sad about it because I can't change it.
That's right. Join the club. Join the. I'm spiny. There's a bunch of us are spinies here, and we have a very dark humor, us patients, it seems. So.
Yep.
join the club. Oh man.
Trust me, I have very dark humor.
You gotta laugh, especially when you're in pain. I'm in pain sometimes. I start laughing. Like I don't even cry. I just start laughing. I'm in so much pain because it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna laugh and enjoy it. And I'll punch my other leg. Yeah, I'll be in pain and I'll punch my other leg. It's like called refractive. The doctor explained to me it's called refractive pain. So when I have my sciatic pain on my right side, I punch my left side till it's hurting as much as the right side. And it's kind of sick and crazy, but it's what I do.
I understand. Trust me, I understand.
So cannabis helps you?
Oh my God, cannabis has been my best friend. Without the use of medical cannabis, I probably would be dead.
Oh man.
I've been through so much trauma. Medically in my life, I've had 10 surgeries because of the cerebral palsy.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I've had 9 surgeries because of the CP. My last surgery was the surgery because I was hit by the SUV that had nothing to do with my disability. But in life, I've had 10 surgeries on my legs. And without the daily use of cannabis, I'd probably be dead.
Well, they'd probably put you on pills too, right? They probably gave you a bunch of opiates to take, I'm sure.
I am on opiates.
Okay.
And because I was on opiates before the medical cannabis program, I'm now addicted to them and I cannot get off.
Yeah.
I've tried numerous times. there's something with the brain of a cerebral palsy patient that once it knows opioids, it's impossible to get off of them.
What does CP do to you?
Honestly, they don't, like, I know some people are like, oh, I feel so good. They take away most of my pain. So that, along with the cannabis, and I'm good.
Well, how does CP affect you? Like, what does CP do to affect you that you need cannabis?
Bone, muscle, joint, and just everything aches. And I mean, when I tell you it aches because cerebral palsy is brain damage, it aches, it hurts my brain. And then because I have neuropathy, I have, so many neuropathic disorders that, because for us, a lot of it's from all the surgeries, but my brain goes nuts. Like, if I wake up in the morning, well, not if, but when I wake up in the morning, I go through the worst withdrawals I've ever felt in my life because of the brain damage.
Man. Jeez.
It's been a journey, but you know what? Only the strong survive.
That's right. Weed out the weak. That's what I say.
Yep.
It took me 10 months to get off opiates. I was on opiates for 10 years. I was on 90 milligrams of Oxy and Roxy every 3 hours, 90 milligrams, an incredible amount. And it took me literally 10 months, 4 times. It took me 4 times. I would go 2 or 3 days, and I'd be on the fetal position on the floor, and I would have to take a 4 milligram. I would titrate down to 4 milligrams of Roxy. That's how I did it with Roxy, with the short-acting opiate, because the Oxy stays in your system longer. The Roxy gets out in 4 or 5 hours, so that's what I was using to get off, to try to get out of it. Suboxone's even harder. Suboxone could be in your system for weeks after you stop using it. I wouldn't give up yet. I wouldn't say never. I never say never. There could be another chapter to your story. You never know. But I hate to see people in pain too. Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. How much opiates do you have to take? Because I was trying to take 30. I got down to 15, and I was on 15 for like months, for a long time. And then I got down to 8 milligrams, and then down to 4, and it was not easy. Not easy at all. It was very painful. But,
Well, before I was hit by the SUV, I was actually almost successful in getting off of the opioids. I was taking 2 Percocet 10 milligrams a day, and that was it. And then I broke it down to 1.5. Then I broke it down to 1. And then I was doing only half of it, so basically 5 milligrams every day. And I was doing great. I was like, this is awesome. Like I thought I was really going to do well. And then I got hit by the SUV.
oh,
I got put on fentanyl.
oh,
I got put on Roxycoda, or I'm sorry, not Roxycoda. I got put on fentanyl. I got put on OxyContin. It was bad, man. It was terrible. And then after all that stuff, I got put back down to Percocet 10 milligrams, and I thought I was doing good. But then after a while, they stopped working, so they had to bump me up to the Oxycodone and 50 milligrams.
yeah, they had me on that. They had me on Lyrica and gabapentin, all that stuff also for my neuropathy.
Yeah, I was on Lyrica when I was in the rehab after getting hit, and after about 3 days, I started to feel like I was going to kill myself.
Oh,
Like dead set, I wanted to jump out of the window and just end it. And I swear I'd never take Lyrica again in my life. I'm on gabapentin. What's that? So gabapentin, baclofen, and like I said, the 15 milligram oxys. And I take 4 of them a day.
Yeah, man, dealing with pain is tough.
Oh, it really is. But
You
you know what? At least there's stuff out there, so I'm not laying in bed all day in a fetal position wanting to die. And cannabis is most of that reason.
Yeah, that's how I got off the opiates. The third time I was in the fetal position. The fourth time I was down to 4 milligrams, and I bought a big ounce of sour diesel. Now, knowing what I know now, I would have had more dabs. I would have done oils. I would have even tried suppositories, just to get as much cannabis into my body in as many forms as possible. Edibles. I would have made it easier on myself. I only used smokable cannabis at the time. So I would try, if I was to do it again, I would try to make it easier on myself and use edibles and suppositories. And suppositories, dude, are amazing. I had a cervical fusion. I had a 2-level cervical fusion 2 years ago. And I never thought that I would not take opiates. I took 0 opiates for this surgery. I had a lot of suppositories, a lot of oils and edibles. 0 opiates. I was amazed. I was amazed that I didn't take any opiates for this 2-level fusion. Yeah. I was shocked. I shocked myself. Yeah. So
That's amazing.
You can do it.
Swear, like, the first thing, it's crazy though, because the mind of an opioid addict, and I know I have cannabis at my disposal, but the first thing I think when I feel any bit of pain because I'm addicted to the opioid is, let me grab an oxy.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you get the fast acting ones or the regular oxys?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what they are. I just know that I need one every 6 hours.
Yeah, because I would get the Roxys were like the breakthrough meds, and then the Oxy was the long term one for the couple of, the day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's expensive. I was happy to get off that shit. I just didn't feel right on all those pills, especially the gabapentin. I didn't feel. I know a lot of people have problems with gabapentin. I didn't have those problems. I just wanted to get off of it, though. It was helping me. It was helping my neuropathy, but I was on it for 10 years, and I'm like, I can't be on this stuff forever. So I tried to get off that too, and I did. But I don't recommend it for everybody. It's just for me. It worked for me,
Yeah, so, but I'll tell you what though, before all this stuff started, when I lived in Marlton, I went through hell to get on the cannabis program in New Jersey, because living where I lived, it was technically against the law to cross the threshold of the parking lot with medical cannabis.
Yeah, those damn borders will get you every time.
Yeah, because I lived in a HUD housing, and like I said, it's technically, because HUD is federally subsidized apartment, every time I crossed that border, I was technically breaking the law.
So wait a minute, you have to use cannabis, but you can't because you're in a HUD apartment. So what do you do?
Yep. I broke the law. I didn't care. It was my health or the law, and guess what? I chose my health.
Yeah, is the law wrong, or are you wrong for trying to save your life?
The law is very wrong.
Jeez.
My life means everything to me. The law is very wrong. I find it absolutely despicable and disgusting that I could be licensed through the state of New Jersey, and even though I lived in the state of New Jersey, the second I crossed, like I said, the threshold of my apartment complex, I was technically breaking the law.
Wow. Were you ever confronted?
Absolutely.
Were you confronted about it?
Oh, well, actually, nobody knew about it. I had to keep it very under wraps about everything, because I almost got evicted, was it about 7 months before I got my license. I was almost evicted from where I lived because I was a medical cannabis patient before there was medical cannabis. I smoked weed for pain relief, and the police knocked on my door and completely bombarded my apartment without a search warrant and took everything I had. And then what was even crazier is it's not even like I had a lot. I only had $7 worth of cannabis, and I was given an $865 fine. I had to hire a lawyer, which cost me $500, all on a fixed income. And it was just insane what I had to go through to be able to smoke legally. even though technically living there was still illegal.
That's just awful. Man. Were there other people in your building in the same position that you knew of, or no?
No. Not that I'm aware of, at least. Like you said, you had to keep it still under wraps.
Yeah.
Because if one person found out, it was like everybody found out because people couldn't keep their mouth closed.
Like a little secret smokers group somewhere in the corner of the building, and all the cool people go up there at a certain time and meet up.
Yeah.
On the roof, maybe rooftop sesh. Can you get on the roof?
Well, that's the thing. It was all one-story apartments. It wasn't like a high-rise because we were all disabled.
Well, that's good. At least they, yeah. That's the biggest problem I've seen is all these steps, man. I'm so sick of it. Everywhere.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. My mom just moved into a townhouse, and it's steps. She has to put a ramp in to get into her own place now, like a lift.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. I've seen it in Bayonne. A lot of new townhouses with no wheelchair access. A lot of new businesses with no wheelchair access. And then these towns that ban cannabis, they expect people in wheelchairs to just wheel themselves 10 miles to the next dispensary, like in Jamesburg last night. They expect people, we have a dispensary in Cranberry. You could just go there. Oh, so you want someone in a wheelchair to wheel themselves to Cranberry. How long do you think it'll take them? An hour or 2 hours? How about if they have cancer? Maybe 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours? How about if they have multiple sclerosis? 6 hours? I mean, come on. What the hell are you people doing? Banning medicine.
There's no compassion for the disabled because they are not disabled.
That's right.
They will never understand what it is like to live the life of somebody with a disability.
I ask all these councils, spend a day in a wheelchair, and not one of these people will take me up on that. They won't spend a day in a wheelchair. Why? Because it stinks, that's why. Because they know how horrible it is. They don't want to do it. Well, then fix your wheelchair access. I mean, it's so easy to put a bag of cement down in front of a building, leave it for 24 hours, and then take the form away. It literally will take 1 day and a bag of cement to fix this problem.
Yep.
I don't get it. They have money for everything else.
They don't care unless it affects them directly. I've said that for years.
Until they know somebody or they've been in that situation, then things will change. But
now, I'm going to be honest with you. Before I was put in the wheelchair at the age of 11, because I used to be able to walk and get around, like, unless you knew me and knew my story, you didn't know I was disabled in any way, shape, or form. Like, I used to walk around, I played all the sports with all the kids. Like I said, if you didn't know me, you didn't know at all. Mm-hmm. And being able to get up and down steps and do what I wanted to do, I never thought that ramps, like, were, you know what I mean, were that beneficial. I'm like, whatever, I can do steps. But, like I said, when I was put in a wheelchair, like, I would see places without ramps, and I'd be like, how is this legal?
Right. How is this possible? What's going on here? We got money to bomb women and children overseas, billions of times over. We got money for nukes to kill the world, but we can't put a wheelchair ramp in for people that are disabled? Like, hello? We're here. We're here. We're right here. Help us.
In fact,
what do you?
I used to live have you ever heard of the Marlton Diner?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, for years, they had a handicap ramp that was not ADA compliant at all. And I mean at all. Yeah, there was a ramp, and boo-hoo, it worked, woo-hoo. All good, grand, and great. But it was still not ADA compliant. Like, it was slanted, and you had to go over, like, divots in the wheels and pop wheels off my wheel. I couldn't tell you how many times the front wheel almost fell off my wheelchair going up and down that thing. Well, it was so cool because I became kind of a frequent customer of theirs. I said one thing to a manager one time, and a month later it got fixed. So they had to put in the bids for the construction and do all that crap. But a month later it was fixed.
Wow. Yeah, there's a certain measurement. I believe it's a foot per inch of step. You need a foot of ramp.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like that, yeah. I've seen some ramps that are ridiculous. Like there's no way you're getting up there without like 2 people behind you pushing.
Yep.
Come on, man.
But like I said earlier, they don't know until it directly affects them.
That's right.
But I often think that karma will come back around, and it will either affect somebody they know and love, or it will affect them in their later years, and then they'll understand.
Yeah, well, they're hearing about it now from us. A lot of these towns.
Good.
So, especially Bayonne. I've been on them for years about this, and it's starting to sink in, I think. But I'm still waiting for that ordinance. I want an ordinance that says any business that has 1 step needs to be compliant. 1 step. That's you can fix 1 step. 1 step is not more than 8 inches, maybe 10 inches at the most, and that's a fixable problem with a ramp or a bag of cement. 1 step. That's all we ask for.
Don't they have to be ADA compliant?
No, because they're grandfathered in. They're older buildings grandfathered in. But when a new client comes in to take over a business, they should be compelled by the town to put in wheelchair access. For 1 step.
I believe ADA compliance says that they have to.
No.
The new...
If they redo the whole building, yes. But if they just they skirt this. This is how they skirt it. There's a place in Bayonne that put a whole new facade on, a whole new doorway, and a brand new step. Instead of fixing the problem, they put a brand new step. And I said to the guy, I said, "Why'd you do this?" He said, "Well, the city let me slide on that." I said, "The city let you slide on this? Really? That's what's important to you? The city let you slide? You piece of..."
Oh, man. That would have not flown with me. I would have contacted the closest ADA caseworker I could have found.
I turned them in. I turned them in. I'm not going to say the name of their business, but I turned them in. And there's a video on it. It's a bar in Bayonne on 46th Street, 45th Street. Yeah. Bayonne's awful. Bayonne is really bad.
Well, thank God I don't live there, because they'd have some hell to pay with me.
Oh yeah, well, me and you would have fun together in Bayonne. I'm sure we'd raise some hell together.
Oh, yeah. Well, I raise hell.
I'm ready, man. I'm taking this mask. You see this mask? I'm going to be wearing this mask in the wheelchair in Bayonne to create awareness, because this mask is actually Captain Bayonne's mask. So I'm stealing Captain Bayonne's mask, and I'm going to be his doppelganger.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's that.
I'm so glad that I live in a state that is completely ADA compliant.
Yeah, Florida's pretty flat and pretty good with that stuff. Yeah.
Because I would not tolerate, if I couldn't get into a business, the hell.
Yeah, I've seen people in wheelchairs get out of their wheelchair and pull themselves up a stairwell with their wheelchair behind them on a stairwell. I mean, that's just awful.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. It's shocking.
That's terrible.
But that's okay though. It's grandfathered in, so it's legal and lawful. Whoa, legal and lawful. Yeah. All right. Whatever.
Yeah. There's so many things in this, even in the country, that just being disabled, I look at and I'm like, how is that legal?
Yeah. Yeah. Why does it take 3 months to fix a federal public library, a public post office in Bayonne? Literally, it took 4 months to fix the wheelchair lift. Now, if that was a regular elevator that brought people into their business to make money, they would have had that fixed the next day. In COVID, they would have had that fixed. It took 4 months to fix the wheelchair ramp at the post office. 4 friggin' months. Come on.
That's terrible.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's terrible.
Disgusting.
Yeah, you know what? That's a better word. That is absolutely vile.
And what's their answer? Oh, well, you can go 20 blocks up that way and go to the other post office, or you can go down there to that post office 20 blocks. Yeah. Why don't you go 20 blocks?
Exactly. Why don't you walk it?
You know, some things I was ignorant to, and I've talked about this. My friend Justin was on his wheelchair, and he all of a sudden he has bloody hands. There's blood all over his hand. I'm like, Justin, what happened? He's like, I ran over some glass in my wheelchair. I didn't even know that was an issue, and I'm like, oh my God. So all the stuff that's on the ground, you're getting on your hands. And there's some pretty nasty stuff on the ground. So people don't realize this. People need to be aware of what other people are going through. Put yourself in other people's shoes and chairs.
Exactly. But like I said, it's not something you think about. If you're healthy, you don't think about the tribulations that others need to go through that aren't healthy.
No, and a lot of times they'll make fun of disabled people. They'll see someone in a chair, and they'll make fun of them, or they'll stare at them, or they'll be rude, or just maybe treated like humans, just be like everybody else. People just want to be treated normally. They don't want to have to ask for access. They don't want to have to ring a bell or knock on the door to come in a building, or ask permission to come in a building, or get someone with a key to get you into the lift to get into a. They just want access. We want to be just like everybody else. You can browse. I want to browse. You should browse. We all want to browse. You're saying we can't browse. Oh, we deliver. We deliver. You don't have to come inside. I've heard that. You don't have to come inside. We deliver. Oh, so we can't browse. In wheelchairs. Oh, thank you. Okay. Pharmacy. A pharmacy told me that. Another pharmacy in Bayonne has 3 steps. I said, hey, do you take Medicare? They said, yes, we do. I said, well, then you're not allowed to. You're breaking the law because you do not have ADA access. You can't take Medicare. They looked at me like I was nuts. I looked at him like he was nuts. We both looked at each other like we were both nuts. It's a great thing. Idiots. Idiots. Shocking. Marina says there are some malls that have steep ramps. Yeah, I've seen those too. I've seen that too. Oh, man. Well, Jonathan, thanks, buddy. I appreciate the time. We'll talk.
Absolutely, at any time.
Let's talk some more. And we'll see you at the next council meeting. The last council meeting was fun. We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, I told you I got booted off the island, right? Somebody booted me from it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. That you got booted and you couldn't get back in, right?
Yeah, I was not able to get back in.
They must have thought you were me. Sorry, bro.
Well, I think what might have happened was one of the council people was just talking stupid. And I don't care who you are, what your story is, what your deal is. If you sound like an idiot, I'm going to call you out on it.
Uh-oh.
And I heard him talking, and I unmuted myself, and I just went, Timmy.
Timmy?
Timmy.
You said Timmy? Timmy?
Timmy.
I guess he's a
I think that's probably what got me booted. But
Oh.
That's what it is.
Oh, damn. Good one. I missed that one. Well, thanks, brother. We'll talk soon.
Anytime.
Have a good one, man.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Come here. Come here. That's great. Oh, man. Let's see. Do this. And do that. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's see if I can make this call here. Okay. Alright. I'm not sure who's picking up on this call.
Hello?
Hello, is this the governor?
Is this, Edward Lefty Grimes?
Yeah, Governor Murphy. How are you, sir? Glad to have you.
Well, thank you very much for giving me a call. I'm sitting here at my desk. I'm looking at these 2 bills that are on my desk.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm looking at them. The one is a little bit thicker than the other one. And let me be clear that I have read nearly none of them. I was waiting till maybe a little bit later today to get to them. And everybody's wondering Governor Murphy, why aren't you signing the bills?
Yeah, why aren't you signing the bills? Why, Governor?
Lefty, it's simple. I can't find my pen.
It's probably in the bathroom.
You're laughing.
It's in the bathroom, Governor.
Listen, knucklehead.
You were reading on the toilet again. It's probably in the bathroom because you signed all your bills on the toilet.
My desk is huge. I have a huge desk here. Hold on 1 second. I'm on State Street right now, but I'm not at the governor's office.
They kicked you out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, they kicked you out, right?
No, I'm down the street at Weedman's.
Oh no.
Yeah, I hear he had some dabs for sale, so.
Well, you know that smoking cannabis could give you man boobs.
You're not showing that picture, are you?
The cupcake picture? Yes. It looks like you have man boobs, Governor. I would not smoke that joint. You might be susceptible to man boobishism.
I have just drafted an executive order with a pen that I found stating that picture cannot be shown anymore in New Jersey. Lefty?
Governor, you can raise taxes and get another pen.
I'm looking now at the... we have a call here. I have somebody that's a lobbyist from the marijuana industry. He is kneeling in front of me with his mouth wide open. Let me declare that I will not sign this bill unless he can fit both my balls and my cock. And
Governor. No, this is not that type of show, Governor.
Well, it's that type of a meeting.
Governor, we're live on the air.
What is the difference between a lobbyist and a prostitute?
I don't know. What's the difference between a lobbyist and a prostitute?
A lobbyist asks for the money before they fuck you.
Oh, Governor, I've never heard you speak like this before.
Is this allowed on this show?
I think you're stoned. I think Weedman has gotten you stoned.
Crazy Ed Fortune was arrested in Wanaki, New Jersey. And you know, one of the reasons is I won't sign this bill. I have... Actually, can you hold 1 second? I'm just wiping my butt with the bill. I just took a nice crap, and I figured instead of signing the bill, I'll use it for something useful before it expires. Later today. And listen, Lefty, I want to actually be serious. That's why
I do. Governor, I do have a question. I have a question. If you don't sign that bill, we have to wait till December 31st? Is that what happens now? It goes back to the assembly? Really?
No, at that point, what we do is we ask New Jersey Weedman what to do. That's why I'm here. I'm begging him to please drop the lawsuit. And I'm actually, at this point, it seems that he has quite a harem of young girls here who are quite attracted to the old GOV. And as their great governor, I am going to sign another executive order allowing for New Jersey Weedman to stay open for the rest of his life.
You can't.
As long as these girls come with me to the hotel.
You can't sign that on the boob, Governor. You have to sign paper, not boobs.
I can, Lefty, I can use my boob to sign. I could probably, if you really want to know the truth, I could send you some of the artwork I make. That's called Manboobri. And I make it with, I dip my nipples into different forms of paint. Sometimes I will use watercolors, and they actually, if I leave my nipples to get a little hairy, they make a brushing feeling sensation that while I paint also makes me feel good. Lefty, I know you find this all humorous, but as you see, as I'm bending there in the picture with the cupcake, imagine, right, 2 small jars in my hand of paint, and imagine the type of beautiful artwork I could make with the symmetrical dangles of my nipples.
I know why your nipples are hard, Governor. If you look at the picture, where is your right hand?
Hard.
What is your right hand doing in this picture, Governor? What is your right hand doing, Governor?
Lefty, it's clear. I call it 2 in the bum and 1 in the gut. That is where I take 2 of my fingers and jam them in my bun. And the other one, I have it sitting up, pushing on my gun. In the female version of this shocker. When I was growing up, I used to tell Tammy, hey, I can throw 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink if you'd like. Or I can switch it up and put 2 in the down and 1 in the brown. I can... 2 in the cut and 1 in the bunch.
No, Governor, no. We're live on the air, Governor. You can't say that.
Lefty, did you see what happened to my good friend Andrew Cuomo?
What happened?
Looks like he might get in some trouble for killing the old people.
Yeah, killed a bunch of old people. What's wrong with him?
That's scary. I'm a little nervous, Lefty.
Yeah, how many people you killed, Governor?
Lefty, that's what Judy Perkachilli is for. She's, as any good mob boss, you have somebody that's in between you and the crime. Governor Cuomo wanted to stick his stupid dago nose and everything.
Oh, wow.
His brother, Alfredo Cuomo, would never have me on his show. Enough. And let me be clear, Lefty, I used to have about 42 press conferences a week. And I did hear that Nicholas Scutari at midnight tomorrow, if I do not sign the bills, he will be on suicide watch for the next 3 months.
Oh. What is he doing, that guy? What are you all doing in government? What are you doing to each other? Can't you get this shit straightened out?
We did not ask the voters if they wanted to legalize marijuana for people that are 18, Lefty. I need to punish them.
You're body brokering. You're body brokering 18 to 20-year-olds.
They're easy to do that too, Lefty. They're the most prime young suspects to take from and stick in the military when you need someone to die. Is this too real? And did I tell you about the next executive order that I am going to declare?
I'm afraid to ask. Does it have to do with nipple painting?
Lefty, I'd like you to be serious about this conversation.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tammy Murphy, the governor's first lady, has decided that my face mask needs to be worn, at least by me, for the rest of her entire life.
The rest of her life. Well,
And if you see in my picture there, one time I got an entire piece of asparagus stuck in between my teeth.
oh my God.
I actually used a piece of asparagus for floss.
Jesus.
And let's see. Do you see the way that the teeth are slightly crooked? It's an artwork. I had these created from. Did you know that I used to work at Goldman Sachs?
It looks like bamboo teeth, Governor. Is that bamboo?
I wanted them to look like the slave teeth that were ripped
Oh.
and used for George Washington's dentures.
Oh.
They have slightly a wooden look to them, but they're not wooden. All these teeth. Take a look at the big one right in the front to the right.
No.
That
No.
From inmate number 42765.
No.
9, New Jersey inmate lifer.
Oh my God. No. You know
The
the
one to the right of it, Lefty, came from his cellmate, and I can't really disclose the two side teeth because we had to pull them from a women's mental institution.
Oh.
Is this not going over well?
Governor, our forefathers were white supremacists. They were slave owners. You're going to continue that?
God.
God.
Excuse me?
You're going to continue that? Come on. That's terrible.
I just received a call from the NAACP.
Good. I hope they sanction you and censor you.
They asked me for money.
Good.
Yeah, and so they put a statement out that's going to be fully in support of my decision to not sign these bills, Lefty. There's a reason I'm not signing the bills, and I'm going to tell you now. I still can't find my pen.
You know, the racial problems of the drug war are just getting worse the longer you wait. Black people are still being arrested at a rate of 8 to 1 in most towns to white people. Weed Man was just arrested. Your friend, Weed Man, who you're visiting right now smoking weed with, he was just arrested in Wanacue. So sign the bill.
As I said, I would need both the Senators Nicholas Scutari and Senator Steve Sweeney to come along with Senator Coughlin, or Assemblyman, and give me a governor's sandwich.
Can you sign it with your... Are you on the toilet? You can sign it with your finger. Stick your finger in your thing there, whatever you're doing. Sign it with your nipples. Just sign it with some kind of bodily fluid. Please. Sign the bill.
And Lefty, you've heard of the people at Attila's Gym, right?
Can you pee on the bill at least? Pee your name on it.
Nemesis.
Just pee your name on the bill. Write your name and pee on the bill.
Right. Lefty, the people at the gym are to blame for this.
How so? Muscleheads?
Lefty, I'm more concerned about COVID than I am people smoking pot right now.
We need pot, Governor. We need it.
I'm trying to roll out a vaccine. You're trying to roll a joint. All right?
Who you want to roll with? Governor,
I'm getting a call right now that I have to end this, but I will have, it looks like one of Weedman's Caucasian friends just walked in the building.
Is that Pat Duff? I want to speak to Pat Duff.
He's the only Caucasian man in the building.
Pat Duff, fine. You're no help, Governor. You want Pat Duff.
He's got a big giant bag with him.
Yeah, Pat Duff saves the day for us. He just, he's our hero. You're a zero.
Well, I thank you for the time, Lefty. I'm going to go sit at my desk for a little while longer and look for my pen.
Take your hand off your penis. Your hand is on your penis in this picture, and it's shocking. Please stop it.
It's two in the bun and one on the gun.
One in the fun.
Hey there, Lefty Grimes.
There's Pat Duff. Thank you for saving the day, Pat. I can't stand that guy.
He actually was sitting here with two of his fingers in his butt, and one was on his flanker.
Don't smoke pot with the governor no more. He gets too crazy.
He was doing this crazy artwork with his nipples. Really cool.
I told him to write his name in P on the bill. Just P on the bill.
Well, I said at that assembly, or not the assembly, the Senate hearing the other day on Monday, this emergency Senate hearing they call, basically to take comments. They invited a bunch of people to give them comments. But if you didn't get in right away on a Friday evening and click the registration form, you couldn't even get in. So, luckily I heard about it, I clicked it, put my name in, and got to testify. But what I said was because, the bill itself went from the governor saying, hey, I want $250 fines for, under an ounce, $500 fines for over an ounce, and, people need to be penalized, and need to deter younger smokers. So when I get to the meeting, the fines had already been lowered to $50, which I said there shouldn't be any fines. There should be no law enforcement kind of interference. And all the mandatory rehab things were taken out. So which is a good thing, right? But at that point, you have no fines, you have no mandatory rehab. And what I had said at that point was, while this bill is advancing, is this going to satisfy, the great governor's palate? And that's what you're seeing here, is that it's not satisfying the great governor's palate. He's like, well, what is this, Where's the penalties? Where's the deterrent? There isn't any, great governor. So, that's what you're seeing here. So you're seeing a little step. It's really interesting because the guy that said he would legalize pot in the first 100 days without having even sat with the legislature and discussed it, now that the legislature is on board to try to pass it and puts bills in front of him to do it, he's taken over 100 days to not sign them, 106 days since they've been on his desk. He's been in office 1,065 days or something like that. So, come on, Big Phil.
So what happens? What happens if nothing happens?
Well, if nothing happens, then they're going to have to introduce new bills. They're going to have new quorums and figure out if they're going to either try to resurrect these bills, change the bills. He could conditional veto the bill and send it back for them to try to fix what he wants fixed. But I think at this point, with budget hearings and stuff like that coming up, that a lot of these senators and the Senate people are sick of this. It's taken so much time of their lawmaking day that they feel that the government. A lot of them feel right now that the governor is reneging on the promise that he made, and doing so to have some sort of political to look good in the eyes of the do-gooders. You know, which is interesting. You know, I mean, I thought he was like liberal and stuff, and it seems now he wants to kind of look good in the eyes of the people that question this law, which doesn't make any sense. He's the guy that came in and said, I'm going to legalize pot in the first 100 days. You know? So, I don't know. I think the next step, the real next step is going to be some lawsuits that you're going to see coming down. I suggest anybody that's been arrested, and I suggest any lawyers out there listening, why not do a class action suit against this governor for stalling these, you know, these bills and not signing them since they've been on his desk, 100 and something days. You know, and now people are getting arrested every day, 80 plus people a day getting arrested. I mean, what the hell is that?
Well, can Weedman amend his lawsuit now to include Wanna?
He already did.
You? Yeah.
He already did.
Good.
Yeah, he amended it the next day. Like, that dude's like I mean, as soon as he got home, like from Wanakir, he's on the phone with his lawyer about how to amend his suits.
Yeah.
And part of what's interesting is that he saw there was another bill discussed by Scutari that was going to bring up a simple one piece of legislation or one page bill that was going to solve the question of between cannabis and marijuana, because that there's a differentiation between the two, and the governor had a problem with that, saying what if one, which one do you go with? So the one-page bill would basically say that anytime there's confusion amongst the two, that it would go back towards the marijuana word, which means illegal, and not the cannabis word, which means legal. So as part of that, I think, is Weedman's lawsuit. Because in Weedman's lawsuit, he argues that they created this ambiguous question, of saying, we're going to legalize a controlled form of marijuana known as cannabis, which that's bogus because it's the same thing. How can you delineate between the two except for by where it's bought from? At that point, if there's no proof of where it's bought from, then everything would be considered illegal, right? So I think there's a bunch of different elements as to why he's not signing it. And I think part and parcel, though, is that he is taking a position that, I don't know if you know, I mean, the legislature held up a bunch of his stuff that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
This is Nicholas Scutari's baby. This is, the biggest thing the legislature's done in the last 50 years in New Jersey.
Almost ever.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's stealing some thunder here. He wants his way, and he wants some things to happen. And I think what happens is, you have these political wars between people, and I think that's one thing we're not seeing. We're not seeing, Sweeney, has got Norcross controlling basically him and half of the senators, the southern half. What's the real fight? Is there somebody that's more lined up and ready to go than the rest of the guys? Are they getting their own guys lined up and ready to go? Like, how's it working? You don't know.
Yeah.
But these are rich people, and these are literally, people who, they play with millions. And Murphy is a really rich guy. He's got. There's no reason for him to be the governor. He's very, very wealthy. He ran Goldman Sachs for several years. He was executive, I believe the hell do you call it, chief executive of Goldman Sachs. I mean, the guy is really wealthy. He's got houses in Germany. He's got houses all over the world. He lived in China. He was the, what do you call that? The
ambassador to Germany, right?
Ambassador to Germany,
yeah.
So this guy's got other things happening, that I think that we don't really understand. And I think it's all about his own, maybe not his own that we can prove, but his own ducks in the game that he's trying to get ready. And who knows how they're going to do this. Now that you have, if the bill does not get signed and the legislature refuses to go back and draft another bill, at that point I think you have a dereliction of duty on both of them.
So I don't know how you move forward with that, or if there's a way to do it. But I mean, in my opinion, that is a dereliction because the voters passed the ballot question. And I think at that point you're going to see the gray area, if it's not signed, is going to become a lot less gray and a lot more crowded.
Yeah, definitely crowded.
Yeah, and let me say, a lot more people involved. It's not going to be crowded. 500 people could open tomorrow, dispensaries all across the state, just like we've been, and they'd all be busier than an M&F, or they wouldn't be able to, handle it. People want to buy cannabis legally.
They need to legalize New Jersey weed, man. Just legalize it.
What they need to do really is at this point, there needs to be a court case. That's why it'll be interesting. I think February 19th is my birthday, which is February. So I'll be 45 on tomorrow.
Wow, happy birthday.
Nice. Yeah, thank you. I thought there was oral arguments maybe today or something in Reedman's case, but his case is going to be big because, let's say they determined that the question was basically invalid the way they asked it, or at least a portion of the question, right? So if the portion of the question that said, cannabis, a controlled form of marijuana known as cannabis, is found to be ambiguous, but the question itself, do you want to legalize marijuana, is not, basically, then a judge could rule that singular portion is unconstitutional because it's ambiguous. And at that point, all marijuana is legal.
I just don't like how it could go back to the legislature and sit there for months and months and months. That's kind of scary.
They're not going to. That's the thing. And they've already said it. That either he signs the ones that are there or not. And what happened was, they went to try to go do the meeting on Tuesday, and they couldn't come to any agreement. Probably even the people in the Senate, And then they said, well, let's take the temperature of the governor on this. They brought the new bill to the governor, and he was freaking out, saying he wanted changes. So you had people that weren't willing to sign it on the Senate because there weren't enough. There was too much, right? And then the governor who wanted more. So at that point, if you're trying to put the bill together, and the governor's like, no, I need more penalties, and you have other people that are senators that aren't even on board yet, that said I need less interaction with law enforcement, to vote for this bill, then he's stuck. That's where I think the impasse came in. It's like, all right, so the governor wants me to add more deterrence to this, but the senators and the assembly people will not vote on it unless there's less. What do you do at that point? You're toast.
Mm.
You call the governor's bluff at that point and say, listen, either you sign it or we basically are left in that constitutional crisis I told you about. So I think that I don't think he'll sign it. I mean, I don't think he would have done all this to this point and then all of a sudden sign it. I think he'd look weak if he did, which sadly that's what he needs to do. He needs to be the bigger party here and just sign what's there and then create sister legislation later to fix the other hiccups, But yeah, so that's my 2 cents. And let me tell you what, got a word from Mayor Paul Canitra from Point Pleasant Beach, who said that my public comment the other night should win the New Jersey Public Comment Award of the Year.
That was a great callback. What did you tell him?
No, I mean, what did I say in the meeting?
Yeah, what did you say? You asked him a question.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll tell you, give you a little background here. What's interesting was that when Reed was still mayor, me and Canitra were talking a lot, and I was helping him. I was feeding Canitra information on Reed.
I know.
I was like making sure Canitra won this election, So it was really interesting to see him there. But we had gone back and forth several times, and one of the things we've gone back and forth about was the East Meets West massage parlor, where he had let me know that there's a lot of people that have a problem with it, but then some people in the town Reed being one of them, was basically like, leave it alone, and allegedly some other people that are, higher up. So it stayed, so the East meets West stayed. So when I started making my comments, I just, he had made a comment saying that, they did a triangulation and they couldn't figure out because of the schools in town where a dispensary could fit because of new state regulations, which, by the way, there is no new state regulations yet, so he was talking out his bunghole. Basically saying that there's nowhere in his town that they could fit it. And, it still wouldn't make sense for the ban. That's why the ban kind of makes sense at this town. Other towns it might not. So what I wanted to do is first just name the liquor stores that I saw in town, being that there were so many. By the way, if I named the bars too, there was 20 plus in that town.
Yeah.
And you got the one Jenkinson's. It's like what do they call that type of bar? It is, I forget. It's like a massive party bar or something like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's hundreds of people there. One bar getting wasted today. And but it's a family town, yeah. So what I wanted to do was just mention these liquor stores. So I went through a list of about 10 liquor stores that are all in the main strip there, and then made a suggestion. Said, listen, I don't know about you guys, but maybe you could replace the East meets West, massage parlor with a dispensary, and that would make people happy, and maybe then the whole town would have a happy ending. And at that point, the entire council and callers lost it, and just, there was laughter everywhere, and the mayor was covering his face, and people were turning their cameras off. And
yeah, that one guy turned his camera right off because he was dying. He held it together as long as.
But imagine that's your, that's your town. You know what I mean? So it's like that third nipple that you didn't want somebody to mention. So I mentioned their third nipple, and it really tickled them. Like, that's our third nipple. Don't talk about our third nipple.
What a callback. I was not expecting that one to come out of nowhere. I was like, oh, East meets West. I remember that battle back in 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think and it was funny because somebody had mentioned, I think the caller right before this, somebody had mentioned how nice the council meeting was going. Like, everything was going so well. So when I got on, I just, let's be honest here. Let's be real. That any place that doesn't have Stephen Reed at it is going to be a nicer place.
Yes. That's how you started off. It was great.
Yeah. And one of the council people was like, stop.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, listen, these are people, these are people, too. That's what I think works the best, too. I think humor works the best with these kind of people. They kind of think about it like, that guy got me, But, anger, people don't listen to that. It's like there's one in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, I'd rather make them laugh.
If you got them good, if you got them dead to rights on something, get them,
Yeah, I like making them laugh or making them cry. Either one. Either way is fine.
Yeah, like the song. That's why I mentioned your song, because, your song it's funny, So, and now you have to take at least two towns off of the list of your song.
Yes, I do. Can you believe this? Amazing.
Lodi and Highland Park.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. That was great.
So is Highland Park the only other one? So it's Lodi and Highland Park
No.
to take their names off?
No, it's Highland Borough.
Highland Borough.
Yeah.
And then, so is that the only two?
Lodi and Highland Borough so far, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take
now it's 40, there's 43 that are
43 to go.
Yeah, well, you know what would be interesting is if just kind of like an email campaign to these towns where we could set up some sort of, like something like when somebody sends one email, it goes out to all 43 clerks,
mm-hmm.
To read it and to council once a week.
Yeah.
Have a different comment once a week being sent to 43 towns. But because I think that right now, by the way, with this screw up of them not having a bill signed ready and the governor signing it, we're the laughing stock of the nation in the cannabis legalization field.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, literally. I mean,
Yeah.
like a big joke has happened. And what's scary about that is the amount of people that have made investments. But what's also interesting about that, Lefty, is the court ruling that came down today about the dispensaries and how they can open up the old applications. The 146 applications can now be parsed through by the health department, and they can move ahead with licensing new medical dispensaries.
I saw that.
So that ruling is interesting because here you have, another 24 licenses they're going to hand out to, in between this 146 applicant group that will create more of a structure of a medical system for dispersion, dispersing, cannabis. We're in at 12 places. Opening up the legalization as 12 places become mob scenes, So maybe this is their way to just kind of put their foot on the brake a little bit because they couldn't figure out how they'd do it. And not the legislature, but the governor put his foot on the brake, and maybe some of those 146 applications are good buddies of his.
Yeah.
But remember, the other ones were in before he was a governor. You understand? So, like, the 10 that were open, he was already he became the governor after they were open, right? The lawsuit, or the people that filed the new applications were after Murphy, the medical marijuana thing, put out this new thing, an RFP for request for proposals. People put their things in, 150 plus of them, right? So all those people that did that have some of them spent several $1 million so far. They acquired land. They acquired buildings, Remember, in there's one meeting at the assembly, there was a guy talking that his corporation that has invested in one of these 146 applications that are out there right now has put over $2 million into, waiting. And they're paying for rent every month on a building they can't use. And, what do? Do they build out? So you have 146 people that have all put this big money in, right? And if 10 of them are his buddies or his buddies' corporations, you go to this new legal market that they didn't get what they paid for, Lefty.
They know how to navigate. His governor's friends know how to navigate the system and the paperwork that's given to them.
Correct. So now the court opens this back up. I'm sure there's a rush to that clerk's office, virtually whatever. There's lawyers and lobbyists rushing to find out how to get their applicant to the front of the line. So that's what I mean, there's ways to see it. I think that's the ultimate way to see it. There's already been an investment made that somebody he knows would not benefit from legal marijuana coming around so quickly when the medical plan hasn't flushed out the fact that his buddies don't have their dispensaries yet. And once they do, they can be a part of the turn the switch on when they make their medical marijuana or their recreational program. But for now, it's easier to pump the brakes by just not signing the bill and blaming it on somebody else. Blame it on the alcohol.
I sure hope there's no corruption involved here.
Are you kidding me?
Any money changing hands? Paper
Oh,
bags?
my God.
Paper bags full of money? Where's mine?
I did an Oprah request, right? I did an Oprah request for contact tracing materials. I wanted to know what the hell the contact tracing program consisted of, what they use to hire people. They have like, call scripts, things like that.
Oh.
And I got their manual. I got a 100-page manual of contact tracing material, right? They blacked out every single call script in it, so you don't know what they say to the people, right? So it's like a big fucking secret here, this contact tracing stuff, right? But what was interesting, Lefty, was that, they have like all these rules. This is what you do, and this happens. This is what you do, and this is what you mark. This is how you do it.
if a person doesn't give up their contacts, right? If the contact tracer calls somebody, says, listen, sir, you need to test positive for COVID, doctor's office, we're just doing some contact tracing, do you mind letting us know you were in the last couple of days? The person's like, no, I'm not telling you who I saw or whatever you did, that they mark them as completed and finished. So it doesn't matter. They're not tracing anything. They're just spending money. They're just taking money and spending it and having their friends make money from it.
Right. There's nothing they can do. Like, they can't force me to give up my phone or my addresses that I've been or...
No, but what I'm saying, though, is that they're marking that as completed, like that's a finished case.
That's amazing.
They've already...
Yeah.
And it doesn't... like I said, it's just a way to create a job to make money.
Yeah.
It's a new probation officer type of thing, the new prison guard.
Wow.
Is the COVID inspector.
Hey, job creation. Whoa. Good stuff.
Correct. Listen, it's funny. They said that this job creation, like the latest boost, came from people being hired to do vaccinations.
Oh, there you go.
Jesus Christ.
I'll be a needle capper.
By the way, the federal government gives cities no money to disperse vaccines. Do you know that? They give them the vaccine, but then no money to disperse the vaccine on people that their budgets are already just completely tapped. How does that make any sense? This whole thing to me, is fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so listen, that's that. I just wanted to give you my 2 cents on governor and the Point Pleasant Beach meeting, and I also wanted to say congratulations to you on being able to wear a tube top again to the council meeting.
I'm too fat.
Being challenged on your man boobs, not being covered.
I'm too fat for a tube top, but I'll keep wearing it.
Do you think that Governor Murphy would consider wearing a tube top with his nice painting boobies?
That picture, man. Oh, I don't know where to start with that picture. It's too much.
Well, listen, you'd be good, man. I'm going to go and do something. I'm going to make brownies, actually, like regular brownies that
Nice.
my son can eat, type of brownies.
Yay.
It's snowing out. And I think, by the way, I looked at the radar. It looks like the snow jammed off the coast and ain't coming back, so I think we're done.
Nice. Well, have fun in the snow and have fun with your brownies.
All right, brother. See you, man.
Thanks, Pat. Pat Duff, ladies and gentlemen. That was great. That was a good call. He's always a wonderful call. Great activist, amazing activist. He's still fighting for that Martin Luther King historical monument in Camden. He's going to get it. So, good for you, Pat. Good stuff. I'll try one more. Alright, then we're going to get out of here. Yeah, it's time to go almost. So, we actually did a whole show today. I didn't expect to do the whole show. Weed Man. What's up? What's up, man?
I did the wrong number.
Oh, sorry. What? What? Wait, what? Did he change his number? Oh my god. No wonder he didn't answer me on the text. I'm calling the wrong number? This whole time I'm calling the wrong number? Really? Oh, jeez. What an idiot I am. Where the heck is Ed's number? That's the number I've been texting him with. I'm so confused. Alright, I'll have to find his number and get back to you on that one. I'm sorry. I screwed up. I thought I had his number here. What the heck? Oh, jeez. I don't know what happened there. Alright, well, I'm not going to go through this now. Nope. Nope. No, I don't have his number. Oh, wait, I have something here. What's this? Shoot. I think I've been calling the wrong number for all this time. Oh. Weed man.
Hello?
Hey, man.
Yo,
What's going on, dude?
not much. Selling weed like I'm white and it's ass white ass snow.
No, I love that. I actually love that. Hey, isn't that racial appropriation, though?
No.
No?
I'm pointing out the racial disparities of the Caribbean plan that they wanted to sell to nothing but rich white guys. So I said, you know what? I want to sell, so I guess I had to sell like a white. Whatever. It's my protest, man. You know, it's my protest.
So what happened to you up in Wanacue?
I've openly been selling it. Nobody's bothered.
It's amazing how you have no problem in Trenton.
Station or something, right? But you ain't say it. Hey, you putting these up? Yo. Did my phone just...
No, I'm listening to you sell weed, and I'm looking for your picture. I can't find your picture. Why can't I find your picture, man? I lost it.
Oh no, am I on your podcast?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about yesterday. You did a great job. You said a few things though. The criminal code is written with the word marijuana in there. You think there's a reason that there's a problem between the cannabis and marijuana semantics because of that? Is that what you're talking about?
That and the wording of the they screwed up, man. They screwed up, and I don't know. I think they all realize now, and I guess if nobody said nothing, I guess it would go through. So I don't know if some people are going to take me as the bad guy later, but I don't know. I think there's some issues that are going to have to be worked out, and the issue I want worked out is inclusion of people like me. But who knows? Who knows how it's all going to work out? But the whole scheme of selling the existing market to out-of-staters and rich white guys is not going to be as easy as some thought it was going to be. That's all I'm trying to say.
You're already selling. You sell better weed than the dispensaries. You sell cheaper cannabis than the dispensaries. You got better selection than the dispensaries. How can they even compete with you?
Yeah. There's going to be a whole lot of people like me that are capable of that. So that corporate model is not the best for patients, not the best for customers. It's not the free market system is the best, and that's what's going to happen.
It costs like $40 to create an ounce of weed, and they're selling it for what, $500 an ounce?
Well, that's because people are buying it. They wouldn't sell it for that if people didn't buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's supply and demand, and people are buying it. So I don't know. Listen, you can sell a Porsche for fucking $200,000. Somebody buys it, and it's a $40,000 car. You know, same thing. If somebody buys it.
So Ed,
I have several different price ranges on mine, and you know what? People buy all three price ranges.
Yeah, you always have good deals down there. Love it.
I tried.
I love that David Nathan came there. He's like,
You love what?
David Nathan went down. That's great. I love David Nathan. He's so smart.
Oh yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he wanted to check out what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He was doing research.
Uh-huh.
Technically, he was doing research. Well, people are always talking about the black market. Well, hey, he had to come check it out.
Okay, now you said something yesterday about the black market that you take offense to. That whenever they talk about getting rid of the black market, you take offense to that because you think they're talking directly about you and about black people.
People like me.
Right.
People like me, not just me, but people like me.
Yeah.
People who are the existing people now. The people that all you buy from now or have bought from. You know, you're unique. You're one of 100,000 people who go to the ATCs and get weed. But most people in the state of New Jersey buy weed from the black market. Now, there's no legal method to buy it. You got 100,000 people that can buy weed at the 10, 12 dispensaries. I don't even know what the number is anymore. Hey, somebody's at the gate. 2 people at the gate. Come here, man. Come here. At the on, man. Yeah. There's people coming now. They're lining up now.
Nice. How much is it going to cost you to get your $9,000 back?
So far already, 5,000.
Oh, God! Oh! And this happens all the time.
You know what? I'm just gonna, but you know what? I normally want to just represent myself and blah, 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 blah. I don't have the time. No, I want this to be perfect. So, I paid these lawyers. The municipal court charge already got moved.
The date was moved?
So the yeah. So it got moved already to the State County. Now, how long is it going to take them to indict me on the conspiracy charge? Or will they not indict me? What will happen? I don't know, but I have a lawyer in place now. We're going to put some pre-trial, pre-indictment motions together. One of them asking to dismiss the charges and give me my money back because it is now legal. We're gonna rule it. They might. We're gonna rule it. Yeah, that's why I didn't park. That's why I didn't park over here. That's why I walked over. Yeah. Yeah, you might get those. You should move it. I think they'll warn people though. They'll come through like the cops did before with the warning.
Man. I just...
There's no at the 2 bars. It got me last snowstorm.
So it's scary how they took your money like that. I mean, the weed, a couple of grams of weed, fine, but $9,000.
Yep. And these lawyers are going to help me. They're going to fight the charges and all that. We want to rule, to be honest with you. I want to rule. I can sit back and do nothing, and this case will go away and disappear, and this, that, and the other, and somebody else somewhere get a ruling. I want to rule. I want to rule on legalization, on the constitutional amendment. Something I could also use in federal court in that case. But I want to judge the rule on, did it become legal, yes or no? If it was legal, then they had the right to take my money, even if I was conspiring to distribute marijuana. So what? It's legal now. You know what I mean? So I want to rule it. That's where it's at now. I could have done nothing. I could have sat back and said, let time play itself out, even if all these charges will go away, and eventually at some point, asset forfeiture hearing will happen, and I'll argue that, they just stole my money.
Yeah, they robbed you. They straight up robbed you.
Yeah.
At
At
gunpoint.
Yep. And who knows what will happen later on down the road. I could have done that, but instead this time, like I said, I'm being proactive. I'm on the offense. I hired lawyers, and we're following our own motions, and we're going to do it very fast. To be honest with you, I was kind of disappointed it wasn't filed already, but they're working on it to do it. So,
man, well, good luck, man.
They'll probably make news too when I file it. I don't know if they'll make news when I file it, but it'll definitely make news when the judge rules on it.
Well, again, thank you for all you're doing for patients, for just freedom, for you're fighting for freedom. That's the reason I started following you years ago is you're fighting for freedom, and you're still doing the same thing you were doing. I can never call you a hypocrite for not getting your card or for not bowing down to the cannabis industry. You don't take shit from them, and I appreciate that. It's a breath of fresh air, Ed Fortune. Thank you.
All right, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Even some people understand the method to my madness. There usually is a method.
I know. We get it.
There is a long-term plan most of the time. I think out past next week most of the time.
Well, we're going to go to the Wanacue Council meeting in March, and we're going to give them a bunch of shit.
I saw that. I think that's going to be cool.
We're going to smoke. We're going to smoke at the police station too. We're all going to go there and smoke them out, and so see if they like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Take care, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the support.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Weed man. Man. Dude, support that guy. He's been doing this forever. He's lost a lot for activism. Activism is very costly, and he knows it more than anybody. He's lost more than money. He's lost more than $9,000. He's lost more than he's lost thousands of dollars and his freedom. So, Thank the Weed Man. Thank New Jersey Weed Man. Thank you, Ed Fortune, for all you do. Amazing activism right there. They picked on the wrong guy. Yellow, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Ed? Slav.
Hey, Slav, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
Good. Wasn't that a good call?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't that a good call? Weed Man's the best.
Oh, yeah, that was perfect, man. Yeah, that was crazy. I can't believe he got arrested now.
Of all people, right? You're arresting Weed Man. You know how...
Look, I don't know how to say this right. It might not sound right, but I think it's a good thing that he got arrested because they fucked with the wrong person. You know,
Yeah.
I think we need... You know, I'm not saying, people should get arrested. I'm just saying...
I know what you're saying. I know. For our purposes, they arrested the right person because he's going to fight.
Yeah.
He's going to fight, and yeah, it's going to be a hell of a fight too. I can't wait for this one.
I can't either. I'll try to join you guys at that March town hall meeting, and we'll definitely, try to give them hell. Or we'll give them hell for sure.
Hey, weren't you with me in Jamesburg a couple of years ago?
I went with you to some, not town hall meetings, but me and you when you first started going to the police station.
Police station. You were with me in Jamesburg, I think, because I was there last night. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a couple, I think.
Yeah, you showed up out of the blue at Jamesburg. I'm like, hey, Slav, what are you doing here? And then, yeah, that worked out. Last night, I went to Jamesburg, and it was an online meeting, which I didn't know. They didn't put that information out until right before the meeting. So it's another way for them to keep us suppressed from speaking.
And, it feels like, again, with not being at the State House and us physically being there, the legislators, they're like, they need a whip. We're like a whip to them.
Yeah.
Just them going, and because I mean, look, 100 days, first 100 days in the office, the bill was promised, or you promised to sign, executive order. Nothing happened.
Nope.
He complained. It wasn't Sweeney that complained. He was the one that was complaining about issues with Sweeney. And now, he got these bills on the desk, and, so, okay, there's some language on there that's not the way that, they want it to be. It's not perfect. I get it. Okay, was the medical program perfect? No. Okay, well, pass it, stop the arrests. That's the main concern, all right? It's, medicine is a big thing, but I think people, losing their freedom for this still, when, after all the facts have been put on the table, that's a crime against humanity. I've been to county jail for cannabis. I don't even know how many. I stopped counting. A lot. And 3 square meals, you're in there with rapists, killers, murderers, and you're psychologically getting damaged for what? And he can stop that today. And there's no reason why he shouldn't, And it's really tough to watch and see all the time passing by and nothing's happening. It's already going on 4 months, since the vote happened. Come on. I feel like we're being played a fool here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like something's not right, and patients are suffering, people are getting locked up, and we're just being kept in this box, and it's terrible, so the law can be signed today, and there should not be any reason why that should not happen. Fix it later, if it's not perfect, if it's not what you like, work on it. Fix it later. Don't use it as a political pawn and a political issue. We're not that. We're human. We understand that. We're being used. For our votes. They're pulling our leg. They're keeping all the other issues. They're not working on them. It's crazy. They're not working on. There's other important things much more important things that they should work on. They're not working on it. What the hell's going on? You know, you're not working. What are you doing? Before a month, you're not working on anything? That's ridiculous. And you're and then they're pushing all this off on the issue of cannabis. That's nuts. I don't know, man. I'm really upset.
Well, the governor said before when he was on the podcast, the governor said he couldn't find his pen. So let's just give him time to find his pen.
Maybe he needs a pencil.
Crayon.
Because that'll work in space,
Oh man.
I don't know, man. This is not right. I feel like I wanna just go to the state house and stand there by myself with the sign. I don't even care at this point. I just wanna camp out and
we'll be back. We'll be there this year. I'm gonna get some dates, and we'll be back once a month. We won't be doing a podcast, but we're gonna do an event there. Maybe we'll just have music. We'll have some DJs come and just play music, and we'll just smoke. Have a smoke session.
And why don't we invite all these politicians to the party? Why don't we invite our senators?
Sure.
Anybody and everybody we can. Why don't we,
Let's do it.
Why don't they need us?
They'll walk past us. They all walk past us, so have them stop and take a hit.
I don't understand what the problem is. We're not criminals. We're not violent. We're peaceful. We want to talk to you face to face. Not as a politician and a constituent, as just a regular human being. We're besides being from activists, what we are, all the time. We're just regular people, and we have lives of our own. We would like to move on as well. We have other issues that we want to resolve, and years and decades, and how can they possibly do this to people, We're humans. We're just there, we're there with, we're trying to talk to you guys, just as regular human beings. Come out there, have some soda with us, a burger or whatever, a slice of pizza, and, just have a regular talk, nothing fancy, regular people, and, let's have an event. Let's get the juices going, let's figure out what other avenues, that they have maybe, or, that we have for them, and, let's try to, another thing, let me stop on that note, but I just had an awesome idea, and I don't have the money for it, but, if anybody out there is listening, when I was out in Michigan, working for the medical program, the coolest thing that I thought, one of the coolest things out there, what I found was there was a lot of veg shops, okay? All these people are opening up bong shops, pipe shops, tobacco shops. That's cool, everybody's going to need that, right? All right. But, we also need, somebody's got to get a leg up right now on some veg shops in New Jersey, some professional, great equipment and some knowledgeable staff that, and then that could also be a place for people to congregate, but that needs to happen now, and it's not happening. And I see a problem with that because, that was like, that's like, you can't work without that, the shop, the veg shop, you run out of nutrients, a light bulb breaks, ballast breaks, whatever, water filter, whatever the hell you need, you gotta run. You need it now, especially if you're doing deep water culture. You need to be in that shop that minute, that hour, get the equipment, supplies, and go back to, to work. And, if anybody out there is listening, man, it's a great business opportunity. You don't even have, if you don't want to grow or, smoke shop or something rather than another, hey, there you go, a veg shop, man, that's going to make a ton of money. And, I would highly recommend for people to start looking into that right now.
Thank you, Slav, and thank you so much for taking part in Trenton all these years. You're always out there with us, and we really appreciate your support, bro. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I love you guys. Everybody's awesome.
Thanks, Slav.
It's nothing. A special group of people really is, and I really thank everybody for being there as well, and all the support. And God bless, and health and happiness to everybody.
God bless. We'll see you soon. See you in April. See you.
Yes, sir.
See you. Slav, he's great. He's always out there. Always taking part, man. He's been out there for years with us, doing this stuff. Okay. That's exactly what I needed. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Oh, call failed. Let's try it again. And I do have a picture somewhere. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Hello,
Jamie Van Skyver, please.
this is she.
Oh, hi, Jamie. You're on the air. This is Lefty Grimes at TV Cross. How are you?
Just out of my headphones, put on.
I'm just being very
Okay,
formal,
there we go.
professional and formal, while I look for your picture. Where is your picture? Oh my goodness. Yes, we do. Where is it? Oh my God, it's not here? There it is. There it is.
Maybe you should, I was thinking about it when you guys were talking about the song and Lodi and, Highlands now. Maybe you should make a new song. Make them want to get a part of that.
Okay. You can get weed here again. You can get weed here again. You can get weed here again. And
Or
Larry?
maybe it could be a different melody or something.
Okay, yeah, let's, how about a different song? How about a rap beat?
Something fresh.
Something fresh and funky.
There you go.
So I called you. I called you for the sad part of the show. I'm sorry. I hate to do that to you. Anything to. I know. That's why we do it, though.
Okay.
But we had a great week. We had a great week of activism. We really kept it busy. Jamesburg, Hohokus, Highlands.
You guys were really good in Point Pleasant Beach.
Point Pleasant Beach.
It was pleasant. It was a pleasant council.
And poignant.
No, it's nice when you can see people's mind actually open to facts and anatomical information.
Mm-hmm.
And when things start to click and they start nodding in agreement and understanding maybe how gross they've been to people that may be suffering. I look at people's faces and just their eyes and their body movements. You can tell when things are starting to get through. And I saw a lot of that in both Point Pleasant Beach and what was before that?
Hohokus.
Hohokus, there you go.
Yeah. Jamesburg, whatever. It's a sane council in Jamesburg. They're still ignorant. They don't care.
I have my sight set a little bit. I want to look into Bridgeton a little bit more. It's down here. It's kind of like on its own. There's like a couple in like Ocean County. We'll work on the beach closer to summer. But like Bridgeton, like what's happening? I guess there's a lot of immigrant population, and I'm just kind of interested. I'm going to do some Oprah requests about cannabis arrests and
Good.
get some more information. But it's down here. They're like hanging out by themselves. There's nobody else down here that's like making ordinances banning anything. And they have a lot of other things going on in that town, like overdoses and serious crime, like to hold that away from medical patients.
Well, did they ban it? Did they ban medical in Bridgeton, or just?
I'm having a hard time. I'm actually reading through all of these council meeting minutes because I can't find like an outright ordinance. So I'm like reading through everything back from like 2017.
Yeah, it would have been 2018 or 19, and if you look at the news articles, they'll tell you usually when it happened around, and you can kind of find it from there. But probably 2018, I would start looking there.
October, somebody mentioned maybe starting like a committee for legislation changing, but that's the most up-to-date thing I see, and I can't really find too much of anything besides minutes. So I'm reading through it.
All right, I'll look into it when I'm off the air here. I'm interested
But
too.
they're down here by themselves. Like I'm kind of used to coming up there and this being more of a North Jersey problem. I'm not happy that it's like down here by itself, closer to my...
Something bad happened in Bridgeton in the past few years. Somebody killed, or shooting a dog or killing somebody or something really nasty happened in Bridgeton with the police, I think. Maybe
I'm not sure. I probably have a romanticized thing about Bridgeton with
Something-
the trails and hiking and the zoo and no, but there's a lot of things that happen there. I'll have to go through. I have a kind of romanticized Bridgeton experience throughout my life. But I don't understand. I was like looking. I don't know. Is their mayor still Kelly? He's an African American man. There's a few on council. There's a female. I'm just not understanding like why the stigma and racism. Like why perpetuate that? But so I'll work on them. They're closer to me. They're within like an hour south.
Mm-hmm.
But they're by themselves. I don't understand where that came from at all.
Producer's page. There we go. All right, I want to thank cmmnj.org, sativacross.org, Magical Butter, UFCW Local 152, JacksonStorms.com, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, and Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop, and New Jersey Weed Man's Joint down in Trenton, 322 State Street. This list. I've been thinking about people on this list lately, and it's been messing me up.
I have a lot, and actually, there was a couple of comments made about what kind of activist Jeff was, and that they remember him coming and speaking at council before.
Yeah.
I think you should maybe make a little clip of that, like a little memorial clip, so people may not want to like sit through the entire meeting. I think that should at least be heard.
That was unforgettable. Unforgettable. What he had an effect on everybody. Our list starts with Cheryl. Sabina. Diane. Marie, Joan, Randy. Randy had the Whipple procedure done on him. He had cancer, and they, before they gave him cannabis, they gave him the Whipple procedure. That's when they pull out all your guts. And you don't get them all back either. They just pull them out because they're all full of cancer. And then after they did that, they gave him some cannabis. In the same way that they do brain surgery on these children. They do brain surgery first because it costs more money before they give you cannabis. This one girl I know had brain surgery, and she had a seizure on the way home. She had a brain surgery to stop her seizure disorder. She had a seizure on the way home from the hospital. And this is before they gave her cannabis. So yeah, they'd rather operate and spend all that money on you before they give you cannabis.
I have worked with population and patients here. They were from other countries, but they would do full frontal lobotomies for seizure disorders before cannabis.
Yeah. Yeah, they cut your brain right in half.
Can just take it out, like it.
Or remove it, or yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's good, big money there. That's a lot of money you're spending there. That's why. It's protocol. Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Patty, Jake, Armando, Lynn, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Brian, Thorne, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Morley, see y'all next week. Hashtag Jeff's Law, hashtag They Shall Grow. Back at it next week. More council meetings. Tomorrow there's a call with Mr. Bailey again. One of Mr. Bailey's calls, which is a really good call. Scutari will be on there. A bunch of politicians. Ed Fortune will be on there tomorrow, and I'm actually going to be able to speak tomorrow, I believe. So it'll be a good one tomorrow.
And Monday is the Neptune meeting. The police are not investigating a robbery. They rather harass someone over a couple of joints.
That's right, Neptune. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a mess. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning,